I get that he has the like spikes around his back and stuff that are orange and everything, but you got big gnarly horns on the freaking head of the Rancor you got. Pretty cool.
No, his are orange.
Did you want what you wanted an orange spiked Rancor? Would that have made you feel a little better?
No. Where are we going? I'm hungry. There's stuff at the gas station.
This is bullshit. I want Bush. Pan down. We've got Bush.
Oh, hell pie.
Too easy.
Nothing to see here, please.
Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Saturday Night Sith. I am your host, the Fractured Filter, who boomered the intro to this because I did not connect immediately to YouTube. So on that end, I kind of boomered things. So hey, what a great way to start the show. Hope you're all doing well. And with me tonight is, as always, the man, the myth, the legend of it all, my co-host in all this madness, Jay Hitman. How are you today, sir?
Eric Tree at cake.
God bless you.
Eric Tree at cake.
I don't know what that means.
Not surrender even in death. This will be my opening line, especially for today, because now I'm mad.
Sounds good.
Blood pressure was good, and then we start talking before the show, and now I'm just ready to go. There you go. A lot of
there's a lot to talk about today. I mean, there's never a dull moment in these parts.
No.
What can I say?
You may be offended, and if you are,
for anybody that did not see Hitman's tweet sharing the stream, as he said, there will be some political nature content tonight. So
not
if that is
still from Static, I got to get the links. You know, I feel bad because I need to start retweeting this. I have old links. Back when we started, we were doing StreamYard and Rumble and what was the other one?
We were on StreamYard, but yeah, we did Rumble, Odyssey, and YouTube.
And so I got to get I need to just save the link so I can start actually pulling my weight and tweeting this stuff out.
I'll have to give you the updated links.
Well,
for that
just shows you how long we've been doing this. We back when we were doing the Odyssey. Do we still do Odyssey? Oh, we still do Odyssey.
Yeah. So thanks to Restream, we are on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, Kick, Twitch. So we've got a lot of ground covered. That's for darn sure.
We're just not on MeWe or Gab or any of the other platforms.
Gab, no. Gab's retarded because they now basically do like a pay platform sort of thing. So I said piss off wankers, and I deleted my account on there.
I didn't know you had to pay.
Yeah, for certain like text permissions and stuff like that. And when they used to allow much more free posting and stuff like that, it was a major in my opinion downgrade. So I nixed that. And
who are we to get mad, man? It's capitalism at its finest, like not everything gets
in the free market decided, I decided not to use their platform anymore. So
and that's the beautiful
and I mean absolutely. And I have our local set up to anybody that's assigned there, and I should probably have enable live chat because it can get spicier over there. But yeah, I mean, we're for streaming wise, we are across the board. And just to get to the chat really quick, we had Static, which unfortunately, I guess because I didn't have it assigned to it, did not catch it, but he said, hurry up, Figs. And then Fear FEMA, how's it going? Said, can't wait for the rave review of the Acolyte. Well, some news about that. Hitman pussied out. He stopped watching it.
Okay. Look,
I, on the other hand, braved both episodes. So
this guy. Okay, to be fair, okay, I had no. I was not a part of the voting in this. It was a rigged election. I got voluntold to do it, and I did watch all of 45 seconds of it, and I could not get through it. So the intention was there, but I'm sorry, the stupidity surpassed every. If you combined every single show that we've watched, it would not be as dumb as 45 seconds of this episode 1. Out here telling me I did not. I watched it. I'm sorry that when you defy physics, I just don't.
I wish I had more. I wish I had the ability for more clips, because I definitely would need like the Marty McFly being taunted, being called chicken. What's the matter, Hitman? You chicken?
No, I watched it. The first 45 seconds. That counts for something. I'm just not gonna watch it. How dare you? How dare you? And first of all, before we even start the show officially, can we just say, just come to the realization that you called us retarded.
I called it what, retarded?
I just had an epiphany. You said that Sheepster is the Tard Wrangler of the group.
Yeah.
By proxy, we're retarded.
Yeah. I know.
Well, I just heard that in the clip. He is the Tard Wrangler. I'm like, you just insulted me. Because I
You're just catching on to that.
Yeah, because you basically said, because I follow him, because I wanted his Rancor because it had spikes.
No, but the thing was, he was very much the one leading the charge and taking us down to each specific mission and stuff like that. That's basically just all I was referring to in particular.
Listen here, Jack. I never played the game, so just because
it was still very much challenging to keep you following it without getting distracted.
Here's the other thing, though. If you were to say that Jay and you're retarded because you followed a guy for 5 minutes that wasn't Sheepster on a Rancor, then maybe you'd have
and then that's just it. I admitted when we were playing, I'm guilty of doing that too, because I've mistaken characters and I get distracted also quite easily sometimes. So
and Sheepster, and here's the
I
thing,
admitted that.
Just tell everybody how Sidious Sheepster is. He would literally, I would not put it past Sheepster to dress up as other characters just so I would follow him, because they all dress just alike, so I can't differentiate between the two. This is he would do that. No different than he's like, I'll get him to watch Star Trek. And in his mind, he's just Jedis are fighting. He's like, I can't wait to go eat Rolos. So for everybody who's watching, that was the thing. If you did not catch that, we are supervised by the Tard Wrangler.
We are. This is true. This is a fact.
But in my defense, half these planets I've not been to, so I was just And here's also not that I'm going off and wandering, that's not exploring and wandering for the sake of just ADHD are two different things. Thank you very much. Maybe I'd find my future wife on Arshada. Don't know.
No, you don't. This is true. This is very true.
As long as she's not a hut.
Yes. Don't go that path. That's a dangerous route. Static also said, I like how Hitman thinks I can be the only one to cover a specific topic. I wish more people operated like that.
Well, okay, and
it would make some things very easy. Yeah, Static,
okay.
I agree.
Well, here's the thing. Why I say that is, yes, obviously multiple people can cover political stuff, but I mean, when we were on here, I mean, he came up with Bloodbath. So Bloodbath. I'm so, oh God, having a stroke. He came up with Bloodbath, and you know, I just want to be, you know, just say like I'm not trying to steal or make this show into that of any type of political nature, even though, funny enough, when we talk about gaming, it is somewhat of a political nature. Everything goes back to politics of some sort.
Downstream and all that jazz. Yep.
No, Static was one who created.
Yeah, he's
politics on a podcast. Like that's it. Like, nobody else started that.
He started it all. Static, you're getting all the credit now.
He's like, and to quote him, compliments are weird. You know, when I read that tweet, he replied back. I in my head, I just think like compliments are weird? ? But thanks. But no, in all seriousness, the compliments were meant in a serious manner. So, but yeah, compliments are weird. If you said, "Oh yeah, your shirt looks good," I was like, "Okay,
right,
cool. I guess your shoes are shoes. They're black."
Well, all right. So I did have a plan. I did. I really want. I was really thinking. Okay, we're gonna break down the Acolyte. We're gonna go into this. We're gonna break it down.
There's nothing to break down. What are you gonna break down?
Well, I'm
the fact that like you want to go like break down that they had fire in space. Is that what you're gonna break down?
No,
I mean, his spidey senses were out to lunch. Or what would you want to break down?
Well, I mean,
there's all girls in this temple and not a single man.
What are you talking about? There's
you want to talk about how Doctor Who's out here kissing other dudes? Is that what you want to talk about?
I don't want to talk about Doctor Who. I'll leave that to other people because I've not been watching that trash fire.
I have not, but this is so ironic. Not to cut you off, it's so ironic that like we're in this month that has not always been.
Yeah, that's kind of
all this stuff.
This month, and they drop something like the Acolyte, and they've been dropping the interviews that they've been doing and stuff like that. It's rather funny.
A lesbian who has the audacity to say that R2D2 is a lesbian.
Is a lesbian?
Yeah. This is just so. This is
fetishizing an inanimate object. Yeah.
Stupid. Because you don't know what a male is, you don't know what a female is, but you can tell. You can sit there and
you can tell if the robot's a lesbian or not.
Like, where do you want to? I'm going to yield the floor to you. You decide where we want to go. But like I'm mad. I'm mad about the Acolyte because like it's not because like I got like suckered into watching. That's like I would have watched it, but it's I can't. This is where I have to hold on to whatever dignity that I still have after doing this show for 108 episodes. Like the Acolyte, like
110. We're on 110, brother.
Oh, there, 110. Let's go. I don't know. I don't know how you did it. I don't. Leslie Headland, like there's something I want to watch. There's an interview that I want to watch. Not that I want to watch. I don't want to watch it. But I think it's important to go over because the stupidity is strong, and I think we should break that down. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? How do you want to do it?
Let's first say hello, Joseph Ricci. How's it going? Welcome. Saying hi, guys. How are you? I'm good. I'm not getting Hitman's blood boiling, as he tends to do to me at times. So a little reciprocation here.
No. There is a difference between buttons and then just getting your blood. I can say that Gamera is better than Godzilla. That's me pressing your buttons because I know you're a Godzilla fan. Even though Gamera. Who's the other one? The turtle.
The turtle, Gamera.
If I said Gamera, look exactly. It was basically.
I'd be offended if you actually knew what you were talking about, but I'm not, so it's okay.
This is like our relationship. It just goes back and forth. Like I said, Gamera is better than Godzilla because he was a better lizard. And then Trash is gonna say, "You're an idiot. He wasn't a lizard. He was a turtle." I'm like, well, they both are of the lizard family, reptilian family. So now go say King of the Monsters is the best Godzilla. He'd like, you are dumb. You should probably go play in traffic. And then we just, so you just go back. That's pressing buttons. Maybe with a slight hint of like, blood pressure.
Whoa, what the heck?
Your dog?
I'm hearing like a car crash. Oh, I'm hearing what is that?
Furnace.
Oh, somebody must have subscribed to the channel. Thank you.
Oh,
I can't see the notification, but it's going off like crazy. I'm hearing it repeat. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
You do? Shit.
Yeah. Did it stop? Oh, it stopped.
It has not stopped.
Oh. On my end, it did.
Oh, you don't hear it anymore? Okay,
No.
good. Well, I guess it's just now going to be going off in my brain. Where is that coming?
We have a lot of subscribers? I keep hearing it.
Oh, Christ. Hang on just a moment. I better turn. All right, tell me if I disabled my camera. Hopefully that seems to have ended the noise. Joseph saying, I'm good, thanks. Good to hear.
So that is just because your camera's off that it works.
All right, there we go. Well, it comes in through OBS as well, so that was partly what was doing it. And I don't know why it kept repeating like that, but I mean, hey. So yeah, Hitman, are you a fan of Star Wars? Obviously, you're not a fan of Acolyte, and neither of us are a fan of the Acolyte because this. So yeah, like, God,
am I a fan of Star Wars or gay Star Wars?
So I guess the more of like George Lucas Star Wars or Disney Star Wars. How we usually equate it.
In the interview, is that Star Wars is gay.
Disney Star Wars is very gay.
And the whole point is to offend white people, which is the whole base of Star Wars.
Okay, so that clip, from what I understanding, was towards a different movie, but it still is apt. It's still a part of the characteristic of their lead actress. I know what you're talking about, but I don't have that. Yeah, she's part of the alphabet community. Last I knew was
like being a part of it, and whatever.
It's semantic bullshit. But yeah, I hate this shit. I really do. But yeah, for Acolyte, I mean, and I don't know where to begin other than to maybe just start saying, like, if you really want to kind of hear some of my thoughts and opinions on it, considering this is be one-sided, you could check out Static's on Static 2020's channel, his most recent weekend pregame. We went over both episodes. We talked about it. We ripped into it. I see it as nothing but being very stupid, dumb trash, especially when you have a character in the very beginning of the episode that's supposed to be an assassin, basically pull a Naruto ninja moment and go, attack me! Right off the bat, even though she's supposed to be an assassin.
You know, the other thing that just irritates me about this is she, and I don't know exactly where she got stabbed. I'm assuming she got stabbed near the heart or close to the heart. But why is it that she gets stabbed in the heart, Sabine gets stabbed relatively in the same place or close to the same place, Sabine lives, and this Jedi, it just is so stupid. It's like you pick and you choose who you want to live and who you don't want to live. I'm surprised they killed the woman, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's like, what am I watching? Am I watching IP Man? Am I watching Bros in Space? Am I watching?
You're watching like a This is like a simulation in the Matrix. That's what you're
And
watching.
What irritates me about this is like, we talked about last year that like George enjoyed or was heavily influenced by samurai and that style of that style. But when did you ever watch Star Wars and look at Obi-Wan Kenobi and be like, that he's a samurai? When did you ever look at a Jedi like, oh look, he's got a top knot? When did you ever look at a Jedi and just like this is just over the top? Like, I don't know what I'm watching. That's her COVID mask. That's her COVID mask.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not super knowledgeable about like the Old Republic, or is this? I don't even know. This is not even Old Republic. This is High Republic.
This is part of the High Republic. Yes.
This reminds me of like was it a scary movie? There's my gun hand.
Right.
Like what is it? Like we can dive through, because I watched more than 45 seconds of it.
You liar.
I did. The Fire in Space was 5 minutes in.
True. Well, what I find is particularly funny too is like they had this whole thing.
And that's, oh my god, the intro's just trash. My goodness.
I mean, it's just funny though. Like, why didn't you just do like the traditional Star Wars intro crawl? Like, you could have very easily done that.
It's lazy. I don't know. It was just so bad.
Static was wanted more cringe. Episode 3, apparently we're gonna get more cringe, is my understanding. He says, I was very disappointed. Well, we got time.
What do you mean?
Hey, Norris, how's it going, man?
More cringe than what you were.
Oh, it gets bad, apparently. Yeah. Joseph saying, are you guys at least interested in who they reveal as the master?
No.
You know what? We spent enough time the last time with Ahsoka making predictions on who the one Sith and the one Inquisitor was, and he only turned out that, was it Merrick or whatever? It only turned out to be a fart in a wind, dude. A fart in a wind. So honestly, like, I can make some guesses, I can make some assumptions or whatever, or some theories, but that's all they're going to be. So some theories that are potentially going to be either better or worse than what's actually going to happen. I've heard some theories out there on who this whole master is potentially going to be. That is probably going to be the likely situation, the likely scenario. So just because they are that unoriginal to do it. I muted. Yeah, Static. I accidentally muted myself for a moment. I accidentally just kind of leaned into the mute button. But yeah, like I started to think that if this is going to be their Darth Bane. That wouldn't surprise me, but from what I ended up hearing, the theory one of the theories out there would not surprise me. And I don't know if I should, because the theory is that it's just basically gonna be the twins' mother. It's gonna be like it's gonna be the I am your mother moment, much like Vader and Luke. So yeah, I mean. And I've heard even like some people theorize that it could end up being Carrie-Anne Moss, like she fakes her death and is actually the master acolyte. Like there's that. I've heard that one. And even like Raging Rhino was going over this last bit, and like to him, he thought the figure looked more feminine. So I don't know, like that was he has his thoughts on it too. I don't know, like
what do you think? Not that
some people thought it was the guy. It was gonna be the guy. It's gonna be the guy that was in the second episode that helped her out. People were theorizing is that guy that's gonna be the Acolyte Master. I mean, one way or another, this is all very lore-destroying stuff, one way or another. That's all it boils down to. And the funny, that's just the problem, because this is clear. And funny thing is, within these 2 episodes, we never once saw Master Yoda. We never got him appearing at all. It's all dealing with.
Well, why would we?
Well, no, because Leslie Headland wanted to put her wife in here. Because all we deal with is this green bitch, and that's Leslie Headland's wife.
Is it really?
Yes. Some nepotism obviously going on here. And I didn't know Marilyn's like had a long lifespan, but there you go. At least a lifespan that would have kept her youngish.
I think that's the other reason that like I don't want to watch it, because like if we look at this interview, like I'm not going to sit here and subject myself to like they are full on just not even trying to hide it. It's full on just in your face. Like like normally, like, you know, in years past it would be, you know, some subverted messaging, but they just don't care, and they're put in your face, and and I've said this before, like we sit here and we're like, we get mad because it's like, oh, you're pushing your ideology, you know, and you're using Star Wars to do it, but people are consuming it. There's a tweet that came out, like 4.8 million people watched this. So it boggles my mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the problem is that you don't know what the legitimate numbers actually are and what's going on.
But yes, and we've talked about this, and I mean, they could say 70,000 people they could say any type of number, but they have no evidence. They said 70,000 people voted for Biden. Really? Like, so but yeah,
like, and I mean, this fight is rather ridiculous in and of itself, the dialogue alone, but then like
using
like, again, the Jedi do have a danger sense, like, unless she was happening to like play Pazak in her head or something like that to trick this Jedi here and to keep her off guard, she would have sensed that, because she's very clearly not that well trained, but she's trained, but like,
well, I don't know. Like, didn't she says, "Who trained you?"
Yeah, like, she questions that, but then like it's very like quick. It's a like simple feint, but then it's funny, of all damn things, like, people survive lightsaber wounds and everything like that, but that little kunai knife managed to take her down. What do you know?
And I told you, like, Sabine survived, Maul survived, Qui-Gon, because he's a capable white male Jedi, didn't survive. Now the argument is, well, she's a white female, but she died. So I don't know. Does that look like it went in her heart? I think the heart was a little bit to the left, isn't it?
I thought so, but hey, what do I know about anatomy?
No one. I don't.
Nobody tells me nothing. I mean, I don't know how much you want to go over this if you only watch some of it. Because I mean, like it is, like, a lot of this episode 2 could have been, like, a lot of this could have been done with basically right off the bat when these 2 Jedi come to investigate, and merely just then like question, hey, get the flight logs and, you know, witnesses and stuff like that. Figured out, oh yeah, she's actually been here the whole time, yada yada. All we're really just seeing is this more deconstructionism of the Jedi. They're making them look stupid and incompetent and worthless. That's the name of the game. I don't. Yeah, I mean,
it's and like I said, man, like, if you really are wanting to like watch this, like, let's talk about it. But I don't want to subject I don't want to subject myself to this show, because I know what they're doing, right? And I'm not going to waste my brain cells and my time watching this show,
right,
for the sake of watching it. Like, the common theme here, and this is why I don't understand why people continue to watch this stuff and listen, man. Like God is my witness. I've been guilty of giving my money to Disney. I've been guilty of that. But like, it's coming to the point now. It's like people are just so concerned about consumption and going to parks and all that they don't see the bigger issue here, and they're not willing to stand up for it. It's the complacency, right? And I don't know. People are like, it's just a show, Jay. I mean, no, it's not. It's more than a show. You've got the creator, not the creator. I'm sorry. You got the director who is affirming what the lead actress is saying, and they're pushing this. It's pushing a message, and it just, like I've said it before, it's like your kids are watching this. Well, it's just fantasy. What is the underlining message?
The Force is female, of course.
Well, that's
apparently going to be even more prevalent in episode 3, supposedly.
Look at this.
And the funny thing is, what I'm hearing is that we could be basically getting to some weird, where they're basically going to make the things that Darth Plagueis did look like a good thing.
Yeah.
With a certain
I think it's just
manipulations of the
it's
Force.
a different generation, man. Because when you and I, like, this might be subjective, but when like I grew up, like as a kid, I didn't have access to a cell phone. YouTube wasn't a thing. TikTok wasn't a thing. So what's so dangerous about this show, well, just in general, just what's so dangerous about this is the kids have access to the internet, and they can go. It is so easy to find that clip. A monkey could find that clip of Leslie Headland, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gay," and the girl, the lead actress, whatever her name is, saying that Star Wars is gay, and you got this reporter who plays for the other team, who's who's basically not open-ended questions, but he's basically feeding the conversation.
He's feeding into it.
When they find
he initiated the whole thing too.
Absolutely initiated it, and then you got her laughing, and it's just a big joke. Oh yeah, so yeah, we're gay. It's great. Like. So when kids go to this and they see that, what are they going to ask? They're going to ask the questions, and then like it's just, I don't know, man. It's just dangerous.
Yeah,
maybe not the show itself, but like the underlying, like the whole. Man, this is just a different age, man.
Yeah, definitely. Joseph said, Film Threat said that about the mother. I don't think that's going to happen. Carrie-Anne Moss is dead. What else? I mean, like it is. She could have gone. I mean, technically, if they have followed, because Leslie Headland claims to have loved all the Star Wars. If she basically planned it, that kind of puts herself in a deep meditative trance, which Jedi can do, and kind of be almost perceived as dead. That's a possibility. But I mean, what else for some of the? I mean, like I said, like I brought up, this could be their Darth Bane. This could be what they're setting up. I don't know. It could be anything. It could just be another fart in the wind, like the Inquisitor was. That everybody had their theories about. I honestly don't know. I don't know, and that feels like putting too much energy into a show that's not worth a damn. Static saying the Master is the long lost triplet. Oh my god, there it is. Static also said that number was combining the 2 episodes, and 83 million votes. That's what we got. And he says the heart is technically closer to the middle, but is slightly leftwards. There we go.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention in biology class, but the point still remains that there's been other people.
Joseph says, remember, guys, this is a murder mystery. In every murder mystery, death happens in the opening scene. In murder mysteries, you know who the murderer is, but you don't know who the criminal is, the Master. I would if I wanted a real murder mystery, I'd watch Murder, She Wrote or Columbo. To be honest, and even Columbo did very much what you're talking about, but at least but Murder, She Wrote, they kept at least mystery to who the murderer was, and even then, Columbo still questioned everyone. It doesn't feel like that to me. It just feels very sloppy. We already know who our killer is. Yes, maybe not the mastermind, but I mean, she's the one. She is technically the killer, the criminal behind it all. What her reasons are at this point. She apparently it was that she only has to kill one without weapons, but I mean all these other ones she certainly has been killing them with weapons. I don't, but you know it's Static says too. Wait, this is a murder mystery with Kill Bill and Frozen vibes. See, Leslie Hedlund has put it out so many different statements about this crap, and it's supposed to be about her queer experience. So, yeah. I like I said, I'm with Fear Femi. He says like it doesn't feel like a murder mystery. It feels like a murdered franchise. I mean, like I said, give me. I'll watch Jessica Fletcher any day of the week. Oh, here we go. Fear Femi. Murder She Wrote greater than Quincy. I didn't know Quincy. Yeah. Columbo and Diagnosis Murder. Oh, okay. I can't argue with that. But then I started the thought that Murder She Wrote Jessica Fletcher was the real murderer. She was just such a good storyteller. She was just able to manipulate and turn people into believing that they themselves were in fact like murderers. And I'm like, that has to be the case, right? She clearly was doing this. Static says, I could see Kill Bill and Frozen because Forehead is retarded. Yeah. So to get to what Hitman has been alluding to, the clip that has gone around faux show. Where is it? Oh, there's been a couple of them. Jesus Christ.
I don't like Geeks and Gamers, but
hang on, I'll get the other one. I don't like I thought I posted a different one. Because I'm not a fan of Ian Miles Chung either. You want to talk about Grifter Extraordinaire? There you go. Let's see. I think I saved it somewhere. Oh, here's something pretty funny though. Just really quick while I'm looking for the clip. Thought this was pretty funny.
Do you think that...
No. May is dead. I saw her die.
A few moments later.
May is alive.
I believe you.
and that really is just a few moments later, and he's immediately like, I totally believe you. The dialogue is so bad. Bad.
Yeah.
And the funny, and like the thing is too, like that girl, she's a Padawan and everything, and she comes into him looking at a hollow of the girl that was his Padawan, and he doesn't, and she's not even inquisitive. She just immediately jumps to, she just immediately like jumps to, oh, you are showing attachment, blah 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 blah. But it's like she doesn't ask like, who is that, or just like what was it that happened? Like she doesn't act like a. I think this all plays into that little back and forth interview that we looked at last week with Leslie Hedlund and Dave Filoni.
Mm.
And bringing up Ahsoka and basically making her like one off already, like, oh, you know, basically the know-it-all.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm suspecting is just like, oh, so she's already like basically ahead of the curve. Like, no, you don't even. I'm pretty sure she's supposed to be a kid, so it's like, why isn't she acting inquisitive, questioning, you know, kind of. Anyway, let's get to this. I have this over from Bleeding Fool, and it does have the clip, but we'll use at least part of their article for some of this. The Disney and Lucasfilm celebrate the Acolyte as the gayest Star Wars ever, or the gayest Star Wars yet. I had fun sharing that around when I found that clip, and I sent to I tossed it to into Rhino's DM group and stuff like that. Disney's new Star Wars series, The Acolyte, is causing quite a stir. The show, which debuted on Disney Plus, follows a recent trend of disappointing performances by the Star Wars TV series, including Ahsoka, Mandalorian Season 3, and Kenobi. Many fans believe this isn't because there's no demand for Star Wars content, but rather because Disney is focusing too much on social issues like gender and sexuality instead of creating quality entertainment. And take Rotten Tomatoes ratings for whatever it is. Because it's such a free for all on that site, and they have been caught red-handed aggregating scores to make them look more positive than they are. So right now, and I don't even know if that's the current, but when they took the screenshot, 93% for review scores by quote-unquote professional reviewers at 93%. The average audience score, 31%. And for all we know, that was actually going to be much lower than what they potentially changed the aggregate down to, or up to. The Acolyte is being trashed by honest critics. Audiences hate it. And now Lucasfilm and Disney have gleefully confirmed that the series is the gayest Star Wars yet. A label given by its showrunner, Leslie Headland, who is openly lesbian and a former assistant to alleged sex predator Harvey Weinstein. And what's really funny too is when I was helping with moderating on Grizzy's channel for his shill reactions with Darth Melvin, people in the chat were saying how they were going to the shill channels and posting that very fact of how Leslie Headland it was the former assistant to Harvey Weinstein, and they would either get muted, timed out, or just instant blocked. That tells you what the shills are all about. They are willing to basically, yes, protect one of the alphabet community people, even with the with it. Static, this article was written June 7th, so it was written yesterday. Why do you ask, sir? I think they do allege just to, I don't know why they say alleged. Because he got sentenced shit, didn't he? Anyway, continuing on. None of this should be a surprise to anyone, since Headland has made it clear for many years, ever since the show was announced, that her perspective as an LGBT plus person would be strongly reflected in the series. So she made it very, very clear. She has expressed excitement about more alphabet representation and diversity to the Star Wars universe, something she has done in her previous projects, and that she prioritized that over respecting what she saw as George Lucas' flawed vision for the galaxy far, far away. Even though he had diversity, he had actors of different backgrounds. He had the whole thing was having a majority aliens, and that was the big thing, was that humans were the minority. Basically, the humans were the minority group, but managed to be in places of power. That's just because we're just that damn awesome. Damn it, humans kick ass. But I mean, that's the thing, though. And then the main basically kind of oppressed group, so to speak, were technically droids. The whole droid thing was still something that was kind of being tuned out. Anyway, on to the clip here. Hitman, are you there?
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. All right.
I'm waiting for this wonderful clip to be played.
Yeah, if we're gonna endure this cringe, you're gonna be right here with me.
I want to ask you both because
Do you hear
this
it?
is, I would say, arguably the gayest Star Wars, I think, by a considerable margin. And are you excited about that? Are you embracing it?
Star Wars.
It's pretty gay. Let's be honest. Leslie, are you? How do you feel?
Am I gay?
Well, no, I know you're gay, but I'm asking, are you excited?
I mean, this is one big narcissist campaign for her at the highest level. And we already knew that from the get.
But putting this, this is going to be a talking point.
Is it going to be a talking point?
Wow, you act surprised. Like you haven't been making it a talking point since you announced this project. You bitch.
Sure.
Because nerds are gay.
Well, some nerds are very not gay and are very threatened by gay.
Well, that's true. But in my world, nerds are gay.
Okay. Like, what's the point?
Like the fun element of.
Go on.
But what's the point? Like, in my world, nerds are gay. Like, what's the point of that comment? What's the point of her? I guess she just Leslie. Whatever. Like anybody.
The way I equated it was kind of like she's rejecting reality and substituting her own. For anybody that used to watch Mythbusters.
Leslie has to, get in there and
agreed, Fook Norris, jackass.
She has to get in there and just
BD Jake
that she's gay.
Oh yeah, Acolyte interview. Yep, we're going there, buddy. He says, like the stream, nerds. Thank you, sir. Please do. Please, anybody that has it, please like the stream. Share it out and all that jazz. Hello, Meteor Advocate Timon. Hello. Firafima says, nerds are gay in the same proportions as the rest of the population, I imagine. Very few.
No, I don't think so. And yet people have told me that it's the gayest Star Wars, and I'm frankly...
You're offended?
Into it. No.
I think that Star Wars is so gay already.
Okay.
I mean, have you seen the fits? We'd be like, look how gay this is, and then send each other a reference. So
And are you telling me, with a straight face, that C-3PO is straight?
They're a couple. This is more outrage.
I think it's canon that R2-D2 is a lesbian.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Ask Filoni. Okay.
Ask Filoni.
Well, if anybody that's going to be making up additional headcanon like that, it would be Filoni. Go ahead, sir.
Does this not piss anybody else off?
I mean, it would if it wasn't something I was already expecting from these people. If it wasn't something that I was already figuring that they were going to be pushing heavily throughout this whole thing. And I mean, hey, Static, here you go. Here's your cringe for the Acolyte, because I mean, I think this all syncs up quite nicely with itself. It's all part of this shit show. But no, go ahead, sir.
No, did you want to go? Like I may have, I don't know if I have more than you. Do you want to go and do you want to say anything? Because I've got a couple things I want to say.
I don't know what else to really add other than this is about what I expected to be seeing. Of course, they're going to claim all of Star Wars as gay. Yeah, I mean, people made jokes once upon a time of C-3PO and R2-D2, but that's mostly in dipshit stuff that is trying to probably, be culturally subversive. So, and we all made, at least I know me and my friends made jokes occasionally, but like that was never the intention from the creator. So there you go. But that's all I got on it. You go ahead, sir.
All right. So just a couple of things. What irritates me the most about this interview is, one, the dude is absolutely like he wants to talk.
He very much wants
right?
to. Yeah,
so
very
he
much.
Poses the question to Leslie, knowing that Leslie's homosexual, and then Leslie, because she's on this platform, has to feel the need to say this. She basically answers a question that wasn't even asked. Right? Oh, am I gay? Yes, I'm gay. right? And then
Right.
this lead actress who, you know what, if you're gonna sit there and make a comment about Star Wars as being gay and everybody, you know, like go somewhere else. Like, don't use a job. Don't use Star Wars as a paycheck. Like, if it, like, it's just disrespectful to, like, if you think Star Wars is so gay, why the hell are you even an actress acting on the show? Right? Now, I don't know if she hates Star Wars, but if, like, it just irritates me. Like, if you are out, like, you are out here besmirching all the fans by, you know, I guess by pride. Maybe it's not making any sense, but like, you saying that Star Wars is gay, then why do you have any affiliation to it? Right? Because
Right.
like, the Star Wars in itself isn't gay, but because you are, and this company wants to promote this, again, I've said it, this Luciferian doctrine of homosexuality and transgenderism, which it is. I don't care what people like. I don't care anymore, man. It's demonic, it's evil, it's Luciferian, and they're pushing this.
Yes, they are.
On
Very intentionally so. Very intentionally so.
Right? Not only on adults, but also the children. And I think I get more irritated and more I get riled up when you go after the kids, right?
Well, and what's especially funny is like when people have come out and criticized certain Star Wars shows, a lot of times their side always says, but this is stuff for kids. Oh, is that right? Oh, you're showing your hand, are you? Oh, you know, they very much tell on themselves quite often.
Like, it's
nothing yet for this show.
It's
like
no
that.
different than, like, I would akin this to, like, you know, people who have Trump derangement syndrome, or people who hate America but have the audacity to sit here and benefit off the freedoms that we have, the economy. You know, it's like, if you hate America so much, leave. And if you think Star Wars is so bad, have nothing to do with it. But you're utilizing Star Wars as a platform to push your Luciferian doctrine, right? If you want nothing to do, like, this is not like they have turned the original Star Wars and into this Star Wars. It's not even Star Wars at this point in time. Like, this is just it's a political. It is a tool to push your political agenda, right? And you've destroyed it. So I get so mad. It's like, oh yeah, Star Wars is gay. Like, you're talking out your rear, and you look like an idiot, right? And if it's so much, then go somewhere else. It's irritating. Like, believe what you want to believe, right? Like, that's fine. I don't agree with your belief. I think it's a sin, like, whatever, but don't, like, this is, I just get so irritated that we use these tools to push this political ideology. And then where is everybody at? Where are the people who claim to be, you know, who have morals or who are conservative? Like, where are they? And I'm not saying that people aren't.
They're scared.
Because there are. But the reason why we are in this place in America is because of the church, right? The leaders that we have, we are equally at fault because we've elected these people. These people who claim to clean up, these people who claim to clean up, like, the White House or the country or whatnot, they are capitulating to the same issue. That, like, we're at fault for it, right? And I don't even know where to start with it, man. It's like like, where are the parents? Like, the parents are letting, like, Disney is Disney, whatever, but, like, they are very clear with what they believe. So by proxy, you allowing your kids to watch this stuff, and again, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. At times I'm a hypocrite because I do, like, I grew up and I watch the Disney stuff, but now more so than ever, like, I'm not going to do it, right? If I'm going to sit here on our platform that we've created and preach this stuff, then, like, I need to be a good steward and not do it, right? I can't live both. I can't live like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. It's like, we're the parents. Like, but the thing that's irritating about this is, like, we're not going to win against this, right? Because they have the platform. So unless we boycott it and like, and say, grow a sack, right? The men grow a sack and say, enough is enough. We're gonna, like, people aren't gonna, like, people talk a big game, right? And
Right.
at the end of the day, no one's going to do what needs to be done, and I'm equally at fault for it because I'm not at my Capitol. I'm not talking to my congressman. I'm not out there doing the things that I get irritated, with people not doing. But this kind of stuff, it just enough is enough. People need to wake up. This is not about destroying Star Wars. Like that is a cause of it. But the bigger problem here is pushing this idiocracy, this evil, just normalizing it.
Yeah, that's
this LGBT, like this LGBT community is not a community. It's not. And we'll get in, and I will get into why I said that made that comment. And it's not my comment. I'm quoting somebody who said that earlier today, the video that I posted. And I want to get into it, but like this is just these people are giving hearty approval to this, and that's street scripture. It's in Romans chapter 1. These people know it's a sin, and they're giving hearty approval to it. They know it's unnatural.
It's unfortunately the fact of the matter is that a lot, and we've talked about this before, is that it's been the browbeating of, yes, a certain religious factions and stuff like that, been basically to bend the knee into capitulation. I mean, look at it throughout it's happening to churches and stuff like that across the country. But they did it intentionally to make it very, very much more easy access to being able to spread their message, and that's the thing, they've kicked out any semblance of right-wing conservatism out of the arts. And I wish Sheefster was here because he very much went into this one night about, of course there aren't any people that are of the right wing or whatever that's creating art because they've been kicked out of any institutions whatsoever. And they have no access to the same degree of funding and everything like that the left essentially has, right. The alphabet community essentially has. And that then does, yes, come into play where, at least nowadays, and I think is kind of for some lost on them to do maybe some crowdfunding and stuff like that, because there is the potential to get that sort of through those sort of channels to get things going, but it's still not an easy process because then you are still going through companies and stuff like that are potentially owned by these very same people, and they'll very easily say, no, we won't print your book, we won't print your comic book, we won't print your this, that, or the, we won't do that. They will very, very easily discriminate against that side. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the other end of it. Is that it's just the thing is that to a degree, it's going to be another long game. If anybody on the quote unquote right want to fight back in some degrees too, is called, well, you're going to have to play the same game of infiltration, do your own cultural subversion, destruction of theirs, and everything like that. And it's going to be the thing is that this was a long game for them too. They infiltrated institutions, infiltrated from the colleges to Hollywood to you name it.
They did, but they normalized it. They took
yes,
they took sin and they normalized it under the guise of love,
sex, drugs, and rock and roll, brother. That's what I said. What I said that last week.
I said this a couple shows ago. They've normalized it and they've justified sin under the guise of, well, it's love, and you should, and they've twisted God's word. Well, God says love, so you should love.
Well, and they normalized things that were once considered traits of criminals. They made certain things to look cool,
right?
And not and such. So everything has been an attack on the basically American Christian culture.
Yeah,
one way or another.
You posted a video, or I think you tweeted it out. I don't know if you put in Discord, where we'll finish this, but it's like the whole judge condemning the 80-year-old woman to prison for praying in
a hospital. Yeah.
It wasn't a hospital, it was an abortion clinic.
Yeah, all she did was we'll
we'll finish it, but that's it. You brought the attack on Christianity, and 100%.
No, I said, this all this big pronged attack.
People think that like this. Let's finish it, and I'll
okay, let me get through. So Hedlund and the show's lead actress Amanda Stenberg openly celebrated the new alphabet direction of Star Wars with howls of laughter. They both made bold statements in an interview from the Wrap, with Stenberg saying nerds are gay and Hedlund joking that R2-D2 is a lesbian. Such comments have not sat well with a segment of the Star Wars fan base who feel Disney has been effectively ignoring their wishes ever since acquiring Lucasfilm in 2012. So yeah, we have a tweet from Joel Berry. The Acolyte is a clear Marxist vandalization of the myth of Star Wars. In the Acolyte, the Force is a metaphor for cultural hegemonic power. The Jedi are a metaphor of cisgender white oppressors who hoard the power for themselves. Yes, it really is that obnoxious and stupid. The Critical Drinker had a tweet saying, I think I despise every single thing about Star Wars now. Like there's nothing even remotely worthwhile about this franchise anymore. It's anti-entertainment. When The Force Awakens was released in 2015, it was a massive success, loved by fans and critics alike, and became one of the highest grossing films ever. However, by the time the sequel trilogy ended with Rise of Skywalker in 2019, the magic had faded. Many fans were unhappy with the storytelling and felt the movies had been bogged down by unnecessary political messages. If you stuck around that long, myself, I had not. I had dipped after Rogue One. And I'll continue to say that very proudly. The negative response to The Last Jedi in particular, which I laughed at. I'm like, of course they were going to go freaking full retard with that. Of course they were. And I didn't even know that Rian Johnson had completely nixed the treatment, the Jar Jar plans. So which was criticized for its complex plot. What? Complex? All right, whatever you say. And feminist undertones marked with the beginnings of a significant backlash. While the criticisms had more to do with confused storytelling and bad writing, so how do you have complex plot, but then say bad writing at the same a sentence later? Anyway, Lucasfilm's media shills responded by accusing Star Wars fans of misogyny because the film had a thinly veiled feminist message. This backlash has persisted, with Disney's subsequent Star Wars failing to capture the same level of fan youth enthusiasm and as such have suffered from budget constraints and questionable creative decisions. The Acolyte has also faced criticism online for its content, with some fans pointing out unrealistic elements like a fire burning in space, or that twins who were separated at birth would each still have the exact same hairstyle. These criticisms underscore a broader frustration with Disney's handling of the Star Wars franchise, which many believe prioritizes political messages over compelling storytelling. Disney has also repeatedly demonstrated that they hold original Star Wars fans in contempt. John Nolt, a movie critic and commentator at Breitbart, believes not only that this further illustrates that Disney hates you, but that it has become a danger to children. The primary reason no one should be surprised is that we are talking about Disney, where everything this demonic company touches turns gay. And it won't end here, just like it didn't end with the same-sex marriage. True enough, there is no bottom when it comes to the left. Equality is the Trojan horse because all decent people believe in equality. Well, it's not equality, it's equity. Of course, gay people should be treated with humanity and be allowed to live their lives in peace. We all agree with that. This is something else entirely. This is about shaping young minds and grooming little kids by sexually confusing them. Confused kids are vulnerable and easy to exploit, and what better way to get little kids than through Disney? Disney! I have no problem with Hollywood making content for gay people. Hollywood should make movies and TV for everyone. I've always said that. This is not that. This is a blatant attempt to come between parent and child. But if the
I
content
don't agree with that.
Yeah, I
don't agree with that at all. I don't think you should make content like that at all.
Yeah. This is not a drill, folks. If you subscribe to Disney Plus, I suggest you seriously think about the fact that you are openly defying God. Well, I mean, by keeping that sort of content around, you're still doing the same thing. We've been telling our readers for years that Star Wars is dead. The Acolyte is just another weak Disney-esque styled TV show of cheaply assembled, poorly shot action sequences and contribute little to the plot. It may feel childish to harp on this since Disney turning around Star Wars now is a lost cause, but it is appropriate to explain to everyone not paying attention that Disney and Lucasfilm's approach to storytelling is little more than poorly shot wire combat, mediocre CGI, member berries, and more than ample amount of alphabet references. Thankfully, the decline in the quality of Star Wars content under Disney's direction has led to dwindled viewer numbers and box office earnings. The Acolyte reportedly cost the Walt Disney Company $180 million, and that's for only 8 episodes. Fans are tuning out because this show is not a return to the captivating and well-crafted stories that originally made Star Wars a beloved saga. Instead, it's just another lecture on the message that's more focused on making political statements than providing entertainment. Anything else you want to add for that article?
I mean, I agree with him on the point of, I mean, it's convicting. Like, you know, if you have Disney Plus and you sit here and are opposing them, why are you giving them the money? So that, I mean, that makes me want to go and cancel mine and not give my money to them and just figure out how to watch. I mean, if we continue to do that, just figure out an alternative way of watching it. But where I don't agree with him on is having that content for that type, for that. It is my belief that I disagree with that. I don't think there should be that content because I think it's a sin. Well, it's not that I believe it's a sin, and I don't think that should be promoted. Right? That's just my personal belief in my faith. Right? Why would you?
Because it still perpetuates it.
Yeah,
it still perpetuates that lifestyle and everything.
Absolutely. You're still, so it's like you're not okay with Star Wars, but you still think that stuff should be promoted. Well, then why do you go against Disney? It's a double standard. Like for you to say, like, I disagree with what Disney's doing, but I still think there should be content for the LGBTQ community. It's like, well, then why are you opposing Disney? Because that's what they're doing. They're promoting. That's what that's what they're promoting. So
under that very stipulation, they're just, providing content for that community.
So that's where I disagree with him. And like I said, if you're an adult, like, it's a sin no matter what. If you're an adult, you're a child. The point that I'm trying to make here is they're going after the kids. The video that we're going to play, that's what it's talked about. Like, this community who claims to be a community, they're going after the young gay community, and they're going after kids. So like they're predators and they're butchers. And somebody could be listening and say, well, that's disrespectful, and you need to lose everything that you have. And it's like, well, you know what? Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and it's like, oh, like what? Like, no, that's what it is, and that's what they're doing. They're predators. They are going after children, and I'm not okay with that. And if you want to sit here and say that I should lose my job over it, or I should lose my whatever, then so be it. But somebody needs to stand up and say that. Yeah, they're people, and my heart breaks for them because they're living that lifestyle and that sin. And I'm not here to tell you that I'm without sin. I sin every day. I sin, I fall short, and all that, right? But what I'm not okay with is is going after you can make the argument that even willful sin, right? Like you look at a woman down the street, oh man, like she's beautiful, like it
right,
turn to lust, right? And that's a sin in itself. But the point I'm trying to make here is like that, like it's demonic, man. Absolutely. When you go after the children, man, like I'll yield before, but going after an adult, like it's still wrong and you shouldn't do it. And it's a sin regardless, but going after a child who doesn't know the difference, like now you become a predator. Now you become a groomer. And I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with any of it, but more so that. And what I've said this before, what is Disney's demographic?
Mostly family and kids.
Right. And what message are you promoting? And who's your target audience?
Right.
See where the issue is? I know I brought this up on the show. I don't know what episode it was, but I was in California. I was at a Target, and I was walking out with my brother, and the kids asked a question about something that had to do with like boys and girls, and if they could be the same. And the parent wasn't a parent in that moment and capitulated to what I would assume the California school district is teaching, right?
Right. Well, like I said, people are scared to speak out against this in any shape or form. If they're going to, or if want to.
And that's the saddest thing. We've got parents who, and this is not, I'm not speaking in generalities, right? I'm not saying every parent's like this, but you have parents out there, like the one that I saw in California that is refusing to stand up for truth. I'm not talking about your subjective truth. I'm not talking about relativism. I'm talking about like objective truth, right? And again, I've said this before, whether you're a Christian or you're not a Christian, if you believe in morals, then you have to believe that morals came from somewhere, right? If you
there's this great clip that Static played on the weekend pregame where it's two girls being interviewed. They're asking them some sort of questions, and they're clearly of like college age, and the one girl starts saying, it's just kind of going into about how there's only two sexes and stuff like that, and her friend flips the fuck out and basically tells her, no, you can't be saying that, you can hear and see the absolute terror and fear in her because her friend was daring to speak against the narrative, and they were being recorded. So especially that there was it was like legit, like, holy crap, this is the brainwashing that people are put under through these institutions.
No, for sure.
It's
you
crazy.
Don't want to go against the status quo.
Let's get through some of these chats really quick. Static was saying the nerds are gay line is something that was said millions of times in the 90s. Doesn't make any better though. Meter Avic Timon, I'm playing Sniper 5. The French resistance seems to have no white Frenchmen so far. Very inclusive for them in the 1930s. Very inclusive, very progressive, very stunning and brave of them. But no one play this game for the story. We play for the eyes, hearts, and testicle shots. True. I've seen some of those. Static said, because Christian culture is so ingrained in the history of America, the commies needed to go to have their way. Yes, it's been a massive gate against them, and unfortunately, they've been eroding that gate with great severity. Hello, the operator. How's it going? Saying, hey, Fractured Filter, I see you all the time in Melvin's streams. I've only been in Melvin's streams once so far. I haven't really gotten to check his out because usually I'm not able to. But I was recently in one of his streams, yes. And Grizzlies, yes. I've been Wednesday nights. I'll be in Grizzly streams. I help out with moderating and stuff like that. And shockingly, Wednesday night wasn't bad. Although next week might be different, or this week, whatever. Might be a bit different because, like I said, this Acolyte episode 3 is supposed to be a doozy. Good to see you. Good to see you too. Thanks for dropping on in. Hopefully you sit a spell and stay and everything. Sparta Chris, how's it going, sir? Feels like it's been a while since you've been in the chat. Saying Star Wars is only dead for as long as the fans give up on it. We still have Lucas era material, more than enough to keep the universe alive in our hearts. We don't need Disney Star Wars. I 100% agree with you on that, sir. I more than happily still play all the old games like it is. I've got my Knights of the Old Republic 2 playthrough that I've been streaming. I'll have to get back to that some more, but I've started that up. And yeah, nothing I'll love to and that's why I found mods that were for old LucasArts era games. Absolutely. Like for me personally, like I know there are people that have gotten all apathetic with Star Wars, Disney, but I mean this is mainly Disney Star Wars. Like myself, I do separate the two. I see it as completely one side and then there's the other. There's the true Star Wars and then there's Disney Star Wars. I still love and enjoy every bit of true Star Wars. You will not get me to stop. That's why I now have the body of a Grand Admiral. Eurofema was replying back to the trash fire that is Disney Star Wars has made even the old stuff unwatchable to me. I know where the story goes and can't unlearn it, but we do have the alternative stories. That's the great thing about it, is that you have the whole, like I said, the Kaitis, the Yuuzhan Vong. That, in my opinion, overrules and supersedes anything that Disney has tried to push forward with the story. So again, that's I understand what you mean though. I do. I get it, Bima. I really do. But like Spartacus said, I'm not going to let these clowns ruin my enjoyment of the material, because I know here's kind of a way of putting it. You kind of look at it like with how Stargate has alternate realities. There you go. The Disney Star Wars is an entirely alternate reality to the true Star Wars. There you go. Let's see. Spartacus again saying, I'm not going to let Disney control my love for Star Wars. Like I said, I'm with you, dude. I got that. I'll pull that up in just a moment, Chris. I did see that DM. Thank you for letting me know. Spartacus then also says their demographics is family, young children, and girls. Yes. And the whole point to them buying Star Wars and everything was to get the boys to start watching more. And then they just end up still turning everything female centric. Go figure. And then says everything Disney had gotten their hands on, they've altered it for girls or dumbed it down for your children, thinking they are not smart enough to handle complex thinking. Pretty much. Let's see. Hey, Brandon Trent, how's it going? Saying, hey, Fractured and Hitman, hope you're having a good afternoon. I am. I don't know about Hitman.
I'm here.
He's here, but he's, Static said the tone in the 90s was very different, though. Yeah. Fook Norris says Sniper Elite does have great kill cam. It does. Brandon Tran saying Critical Drinker did an open bar discussion, quote unquote, on pushing the message that no fandoms are not interested in seeing gay message at all. I haven't watched Critical Drinker stuff in a while, so I didn't see that. Did you guys see Batman Arkham Shadows story trailer yet? YouTube Batman Arkham videos did a breakdown that the game will feature both stealth and free flow combat. Isn't that the one that's supposed to be for like VR? Because I think I've heard about that, and if it's a VR game, I'm just not too interested. And that's a lot. I think it's using the MetaQuest. or is it the MetaQuest or the PlayStation VR headset? One way or another, both are expensive. And for something that I'm probably not going to get a lot of use out of, unfortunately, just don't see myself picking it up. And plus, any of the original team that did the original trilogy of the Arkham games, those people aren't there anymore. So I just don't see the point. All right, here was something that Spartacus sent me. Just really quick to get into this. Robbie Starbuck here saying the American College of Pediatricians just put out a fire statement about calling out all the major medical associations by name for pushing the gender transition craze on kids. They ask for these groups to immediately stop the promotion of social affirmation, puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries for children and adolescents who experience distress over their biological sex. Here's a full statement. Therefore, given the recent research and the revelations of the harmful approach advocated by WPATH and its, I don't know what WPATH is, and its followers in the United States, we, the undersigned, call upon the medical professional organizations of the United States, including the American Academy of Pediatricians, the Endocrine Society, and the Pediatric Endocrine Society, American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association, and the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, to follow the science and their European professional colleagues and immediately stop the promotion of social affirmation, puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries for children and adolescents who experience distress over their biological sex. Instead, these organizations should recommend comprehensive evaluations and therapies aimed at identifying and addressing underlying psychological comorbidities and neurodiversity that often predispose to and accompany gender dysphoria. We also encourage the physicians who are members of these professional organizations to contact their leadership and urge them to adhere to the evidence-based research now available. They link to many studies on their site, doctorsprotectingchildren.org. I believe that the statement came from this. And here's the website. You can sign the declaration. Here, I'll even drop the link really quick in the chat. And that was basically here's what I just read off here. As physicians together, we, with nurses, psychotherapists, and behavioral health clinics, other health professionals, scientists, researchers, and public health and policy professionals, we have serious concerns about the physical and mental health effects of the current protocols promoted for the care of children and adolescents in the United States who express discomfort with their biological sex. So again, that's kind of more of that. Whew. And for anybody else that certainly wants to pick this apart or read into it or whatever, they've got all the information here. I believe this is part of what they're talking about with all the different studies that get cited as it is. Yeah. So you definitely got big group of people that are doing what they can to go against that narrative.
It's on the position. So pumped.
Let's see. Spartacus, see that they are remastering the Thing video game. I did. I might pull up that trailer in a little bit. Brendan Trent saying it's MetaQuest 3 exclusively. Oof. MetaQuest 3 is not cheap. And like I said, I already have like a Nintendo Switch that's kind of collecting dust as it is. I could see a MetaQuest basically doing the same thing, just collecting dust, because I would not get a lot of use out of it. That's just me personally. I might take a look at the trailer at some point, but for right now, no interest in the VR stuff. Book Door saying, I'll pass too, especially since Suicide Squad was the last Arkham. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah. That one still hurts. That one hurts. Okay. Hit that. So you want to hit this video now?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Okay, throwing the link in, paste to go. Stop. There we go. Okay. So here we got Jordan Peterson airs Pride Month grievances. Ooh, 5 minutes. Okay.
It goes quick.
Having this interview in Pride Month, and so what are my thoughts about Pride Month? Well, the first thing I would say is that you should be very careful what you name things. And pride is not a virtue, and I brought that up with people before, and their objection always is, well, they don't really mean pride. People are just trying to affirm their own identities, and you know, fair enough, I suppose, to some degree, but that was the name that was chosen, and that's the name that stuck, and pride is a cardinal sin.
Well, yeah, it's the name that still gets used and persisted today. They have not gone out of their way to change it, to find something different, to use anything other than. They still use it, so.
And there's a reason for that, and the reason is that pride means something like stubborn refusal to change when evidence of error is accruing, and it's not a good thing. There's a real tinge of narcissism, sexual narcissism, about the whole pride spectacle. And, you know, do people have the right to express their sexuality the way they see fit? To some degree, if it's consensual and among adults, but generally among human beings with any degree of civilized comportment whatsoever, it's a pretty damn private affair. We tend to be private in our sexual conduct as a species, and so this isn't exactly private. And it's also the case that identities based on something as narrow as sexual desire, let's say, aren't identities at all. They're pronouncements of subjection to instinctual whim. And I also have a real problem with the idea of the LGBT plus, etc. community, because it's not a community. And it's
just to pause it just so we don't get hit or anything like that.
It's especially not a community right now because the trans pushing, gender affirming butchers and liars primarily target young people whose most likely outcome on the sexual front is homosexuality. So the trans gender affirming butchers and liars are differentially destroying the youthful gay community. And that's not a community by any stretch of the imagination. And there's a famous conservative thinker, Chesterton, and Chesterton has a concept, the fence, and Chesterton's fence is based on the observation that if you're walking somewhere you don't understand and you come across a fence, you should probably not tear it down because you don't know what it keeps in or out. And the Pride movement has torn down a lot of fences, and maybe some of those fences needed to go, but all of them didn't need to go. And there's plenty of monsters coming out to play now. And I would say that's especially true on the transgender affirming side. And that's why we're seeing this butchery in the medical community, abetted by idiot allies and driven by greed. And those aren't the worst monsters that exist. And so if you tear down enough fences, you're going to find out what they're for. Now, I read recently, like this week, that support for gay marriage is plummeting. Right. It's like, well,
good.
Keep pushing. You're going to lose everything you've gained. And I'm not celebrating that at all. That's not the point at all. But like, I'm just done with it. I don't like the flag. I think it's a piece of idiocy. I don't understand why it changes every bloody week. I don't know who makes those decisions. I don't like the acronym and all the mystery surrounding it. I don't like the fact that the LGBT agenda, whatever that is, increasingly dominates the school system. I don't like the fact that it's targeted at young people. And I think the surgery, the gender-affirming care movement, I think it is Nazi Auschwitz level awful. They should not only stop, and now, as they've decided to do in the UK and in most places in Europe, but I think all the people that were involved in the surgical transition of minors should be imprisoned. So there's a lot of house cleaning to do on the pride side of things. And I don't believe that a celebration of an identity that encapsulates something like 3% of the population before it became a fad is inclusive in any manner whatsoever. So I think pretty much all of it's a lie. And it's a dangerous lie, and it's a lie with real monsters hovering on the edges. And so, enough. As far as I'm concerned, enough pride in the churches, enough pride in the bloody banks. I don't want to walk into the Bank of Nova Scotia and be celebrating pride. It's like I want to go and put my money in or take my money out without any political idiocy, and certainly without any celebration of sexuality. I don't know what the hell the banks think they're doing. And the churches, well, that's just for the churches to be flying pride flags. It's like pride is the cardinal Christian sin. Right, so what the hell? What's going on with the flags exactly? What exactly are you celebrating here? Tolerance. It's like, yeah, tolerance of vice is not a virtue, and pride is a vice.
All right, that was Jordan Peterson's talk on that. I know this was definitely a thing you wanted to bring up there, Hitman, so I leave the floor to you, sir.
I really like Jordan Peterson for many different reasons. One, I don't know a lot of his backstory, but if anybody doesn't know anything about him, he's a professor of, I believe, psychology at the University of Toronto. And I don't think he wasn't always a Christian, but he recently came to Christianity. But he's always attacked. Like I was telling you this before the show, man. Like he's always attacked. He's just brilliant. And I couldn't agree more with what he said here. What was really interesting was bringing up the Chesterton. I think I always forget his first name, but Chesterton and the whole fence thing about how you go and start tearing down fences, and you're going to soon realize what those fences were holding back. And he further makes the point that maybe some of those fences should have been destroyed or taken down and whatnot, but definitely not all of them and whatnot. And it's just and then he goes in and he talks about just I think he quoted the Auschwitz level bad and whatnot, but the whole premise of this clip is just evil and is demonic, and it's and people are giving hearty approval to this, man. And
I would argue one thing is that you could say multiple fences, but I think when it was just taking down the one.
For sure.
That was it.
Sure.
That's all it needed was just one fence to get knocked down.
But all of this is interesting. The whole pride thing, there, Proverbs, I think 16:18, says pride, pride comes before destruction and whatnot. And it's very interesting that they chose to name this collection Pride. And he said, if you want to, many people find their identity through many different things. As a Christian, I'll say you're supposed to find it through Christ, but people have tried to find their identity through work and through sports and through whatnot. But the problem I have with finding your identity through like sexual pleasure or sexual orientation, like that would be, I guess, in my mind, the difference, right? And it's not and he talks about a community. It's not a community, man, because I told you I was gonna say my piece on this. It's like he calls them butchers, and I don't think he used the term predator, but he said he mentioned calling them butchers and whatnot. And it's like you have these, and I've referenced this before. Kirk Cameron gets shunned out of libraries for wanting to read his biblical based children's book.
Yeah,
but you have a male who's dressed as a woman reading homosexual and transgenderism books in a library.
Yep.
Right. So when I said that they're predators, that's what I mean. Right. Maybe not everybody within. Well, no, I'm not even going to go there. They're predators in the sense that they are going after the children. They're pushing this Luciferian doctrine towards the children. Why? Because children are easier to indoctrinate than adults, predominantly speaking. I don't have a statistic like I would assume Jordan has, but that's the truth. That's why they're doing it. And the other thing about the whole pride thing, it's very interesting that the flag, he said, I think the flag's stupid. Well, there's something interesting about the flag, right? You see that it's a rainbow, right? And maybe Spartacus, if he wants to jump in, it's very interesting that when you, as a Christian, you read the Bible and you know that the earth was flooded at one point in time, and God's promise to never destroy man with a flood was the rainbow. What's so interesting about the rainbow is God, like the rainbow that God used was 7 colors. And how many colors does the pride flag have?
Oh God, they've changed it so many times. I don't know what this.
It's 6 colors, right? What is the number for the devil? 666. What is Satan's whole? Why did Satan get kicked out of heaven? Do you know? Pride.
I just knew it was going against God, but yeah,
he wanted to be God. It was pride, right? He wanted to be God. He wanted to go against God, and and that's why he got kicked out of heaven. So it's interesting that you have a flag that is of a rainbow that mocks God, right? Because
there's 11 colors. Sorry to be what? So there's 11 colors now on the pride flag.
Okay, well, when it predominantly it was 6, right? And where was I? I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so it's just interesting. No, oh my goodness, isn't this what Jordan Peterson does? It's freaking,
changes every week.
Every week. So yeah, Static. Yeah, that's what Static said, and Chris said. But so anyway, so it's just very interesting. They call it pride. It's they make a mockery of the rainbow, which was the promise of God never to destroy the earth. 7, to Chris's point, is 7 colors in the rainbow. 7 is a holy number. Then Static's point, number of man is 6, but also 6 is mentioned in the Bible. So anyway, so it's interesting that you have the flag. It's interesting that you have just the mockery and just it's just a lot, man, and it's too much to dissect within a show. But I think people will say, "Oh, you're racist, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe, transphobe." No, I'm not. What I'm trying to do is get to like the core of this,
this matter. Yeah,
it's just, and you just call it pride, like and to his point, pride is a cardinal sin. Absolutely, pride is not good. And it's not a community, in my opinion. And so I don't know. It's my belief, and that's why I think it's demonic. I think when you go after children and you push, when you are trying to justify. And he Jordan is correct in the sense that like anything that has to do with sex. Do you and I go to work and talk about sex openly? Do I ask you how many girls? Like, why?
No, that's why. Because it's not important.
Well, why is it? But
and this is not a topic of something that we bring up.
But why? Would you? I mean, would you say it's maybe your own business?
I would also, I would say it's not none of your business. On top of it,
for sure. So when he says it predominantly, we're pretty private or a secret. I don't think he uses the word secret.
Well, everybody wants their private moments and stuff like that. That's why it's like everybody has their own select hobbies or whatever, and that's what they even say for like, I guess for relationships, stuff like that. You should each have like your own kind of hobby that gives you your own separate time every now and then, because yes, you sometimes you need to decompress from the maybe for some overstimulation of socialization and stuff like that. And there's some of us that just retreat entirely.
The other thing that's interesting about this is, and I didn't even bring up, why does it dominate the school? The curriculum. When I grew up, I grew up Catholic, not Catholic anymore, but I grew up Catholic, man. And I remember every morning we did two things. You want to know what those two things were?
Go ahead.
We prayed first, and then we did the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mm-hmm.
Dare I say, you ever go into a school and hear somebody, the class pray and recite the Pledge of Allegiance, right?
God, I'm trying to think of when that, because I remember that for a good while for when I was going into school, especially the Pledge of Allegiance. But prayer, I want to say yes.
Yeah. There was no talk. There was no curriculum about transgenderism, homosexuality. There was none of that. He's like, well, Jay, I mean, you went to a Catholic school. Like,
I went to California public schools, and no, there was none of that during when I was growing up.
Homosexuality,
just strong.
Homosexuality is not exclusive to the 21st century. This has been going. That's why Sodom, not the probably reason why Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, but definitely a part of it.
A reason, yeah.
You have the men outside Lot's home wanting to have sex with the two men who were perceived as angels that came to destroy Sodom. Well, they didn't destroy Sodom, God did, but so this evilness has been around. This isn't exclusive to the 21st century, right?
Right.
But you have this curriculum. It dominates the schools. You see this flag flown every June and even outside June. So it's there's a tweet that I posted there. It's like, if you want to pull it up, it's about the picture of the White House. Or I can.
I saw that. Yeah, I got it. No, I got it.
So, you're just
OMG, the Christians are going to take over the government, impose their religion on everyone. Meanwhile, Black Lives Matter flag up at the top. You got the whole house in rainbow colors. Yeah.
So, that's just an altered photo. Well, no, it's not. White House did blow the White House.
I think the Black Lives Matter is added on there, but the colors were definitely done during one of the Pride things a while ago. They had a topless transformer walking around, as I seem to recall. So yeah,
it's so. I just wanted to play it, and like I said, like if people want to, people can disagree with me. That's fine. This is my belief, and it's evil, man. It's demonic, and that is not to say that I hate them. It's not to say that I wish ill upon them.
You've
made it very clear. I made it very clear that I love people enough. And I struggle with love, man, but I love people enough to tell them. I pose the question to you, Fractured. What's the greater love? Like I said, we've talked about where where you stand on, faith and faith and whatnot. But what is the greater love? If hell's a very real place, and if you know that hell's a real place, and you know that people are going to go there, what's the greater love? To allow somebody to continue in sin that would send them to hell, or to love that person enough to tell them the truth? What's the greater love?
To tell them the truth.
I don't want to interfere with them because I don't want to hurt their feelings. Like, what's the greater love?
Well, I'd say to tell them the truth if they're asking me for the truth. If they are asking me of my opinion, they're going to get the truth one way or another. But
well, that's why your name's the Fractured Filter, right? You have no filter because it's broken. No, but like the point I'm trying to make is, yeah. So this isn't just some new, thing that I've gone against. Like I've even before I was, I became a Christian, I grew up Catholic. I've had friends that are of this orientation. So like, this isn't anything new to me, but I've said it before and I will continue to say it's evil. It's a Luciferian doctrine and people are believing a lie that they think that, I'm born like this, or I'm not saying that you can be attracted to people are attracted to the opposite sex, but at the end of the day, I believe it's a hard issue.
It's a difficult one,
and like I said, Romans 1 is very, very clear on many things, but specifically this topic in general on homosexuality and whatnot. So the best I can do is like I said, I'm a dirty, rotten sinner that deserves to go to hell. I do not deserve to go to heaven. I understand that, but instead of getting frustrated and making this a political battle, as much as it is very much a political battle, I think people should stand up and talk out against this. Not telling not hating the person, but telling them the truth. And if they want to disagree with you, then that's on them. They have the free will to either accept what you're saying or not accept what you're saying, right? But I also find it just very interesting that there's a lot of things in this country that creates division. And this has been one of the issues, in my opinion, that is at a point of contention. It's like you will see a parade of people going down the street holding up Bibles and Jesus signs, and like, oh my, the people look at them with disdain. But then I have a buddy, and he's not a buddy anymore. I have a guy who was at point in time a friend, who I'm not even getting into it. I saw this thing on Snapchat. A guy that I knew, he was at a pride parade, and this is the same guy that one time came to Christ. And I'm like, are you there just to? And I'm not, like I said, there's an account in the Bible, it's in the New Testament, where there's a Pharisee he says, thank you, God, that I'm not like these other sinners, right? And then there's a tax collector, and the tax collector, if you know anything about like Jewish custom, and was not looked upon favorably, right? But the tax collector is ripping his garment, throwing sackcloth, and repenting and asking God for forgiveness, right? So the point is not to look at other people and say, I'm better than them, right? Because you don't want to do that. You want to humble yourself and know that you're a sinner. But like, I think it just more so just, I don't know, man. I don't know where I was going with that. Just talking about this kind of stuff.
I'm letting you go, man. I'm letting you go. You're going good.
Just talking about it stuff, man. And it's like we have a whole month devoted to Oh, that's the point I was going to go. So you have a group of people that have Jesus signs and holding up Bibles, going down the street, and people look at them like WTF, right? Oh, these
they're the crazy ones, yeah.
But you have people that give with the pride parades giving hearty approval of it, right?
Well, and think about this too. Think about this too. And I looked it up just to double check. This whole month is Pride Month, right? And I believe it's also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, but also month of which there is Father's Day, June 16th. You kind of can't help but wonder if there's a bit of a coincidence with all this going on.
What dots are you connecting?
I mean, one of the primary targets, if you want to weaken the nation, weaken the men.
For sure.
So, absolutely.
Are you saying destroy the nuclear family?
Destroy the nuclear family. Like I said, destroy. It's what the whole hard times make strong men, strong men make good times make weak men, and all that.
Right.
Kind of in relation to that, but if you want the one person that's meant to be kind of the main standing force for, yes, like you said, a nuclear family is the father, is the man, and in general, who fights generally in wars? Men fight in wars. Men are and if you want to take over, how else better than, because I mean, look, you look back from like the late 90s, early 2000s. What was that show? Queer Eye for the Straight Guy?
Yeah.
There's one of the, some of the starts of that normalization and the feminization of men. So, yeah.
In the 60s, if a pedophile, if someone found out about a pedophile, dare I say, they put him on death row. They would go after him, right? You find a pedophile today like Jeffrey Epstein. What have we done? Oh, well, he had mental. It was the mental disease that made, he's not the one. Like they displace the blame on something.
Well, that's why, they now have the term minor attracted persons instead of,
for sure,
instead of the PDF file, instead of all that stuff. Better. That's how they normalize. That's how they're going to work towards normalizing it, and they are.
That's the point. You normalize. You take something that has fundamentally been looked upon as wrong. It's what the Bible says. It's like what wrong has become right, and right has become wrong. You have now normalized something that has predominantly been looked upon as, not natural. And I'm not just talking about this specific topic. I'm talking about just sin in general. You normalize it. You think, and then you give hearty approval to it. You indoctrinate. You give hearty approval to it. Like, it's just love. Who are you to say that this person can't love this person?
Love is love. Oh, so love is love. Love is God. I'm not going there.
And that's the difference. And I had problems. I've talked to Spartacus about this. I have problems within the modern church, right? As a Christian,
right?
Because everybody paints Jesus as this all-loving God that would never send you to hell. Jesus himself spoke on hell quite a few times in the gospel, right? In Romans, it talks about the wrath of God falls on everyone. It's not exclusive or inclusive. It's not exclusive to like some guys or some people or this group or that group. It's all, right? So,
right.
It's just, yeah. It is just, and it's not gonna stop. And I said this before, and I don't take credit for this comment. I was listening to Steve Jay's show this morning, and they said something that was really interesting. It's like, we are in this spot as a country because of the modern church, because the modern church has, in a sense, capitulated, or because the modern church has not stood up for truth and God's word, and have somewhat bent the knee. We are now in this place. That's not to say that if the church did stand up, like the church in Acts, right, we still wouldn't be in a bad spot. But I think we'd be in a far different spot spiritually, right?
Right.
That's part of the reason, like, I have recently taken a step back from going to church, because the churches here don't preach on hell. Nobody preaches on hell. Nobody preaches on the wrath of God. It's a once saved, always saved theology, and God loves you for who you are. And that's not, and I'm sorry, like, that's not how it goes. Like, yes, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. But when you look at 36, it talks about all who, basically you have to believe. Like, there's conditions upon this, and God, yes, God gave his only son, but there's conditions upon that, right? Did God die for all sinners? Yeah. Did he pay the debt? Yes, he did. But you have to do your part. And so, without going on a tangent, yeah, man, we're not standing up. And it's like, when are men when can we go back to the era where the father stood up to protect the family? The man is supposed to be the leader of the household and the spiritual leader, right?
Right.
I'm not saying this, I don't say this to boast, but there's something I do on the weekends, and it's interesting to see how many people just pass you by. Some people will acknowledge, and other people just pass by. It's like, oh, they see you, but it's like, it's just, I don't know. It's interesting to see, like, where we've come as a nation. And it's like, we want to live, we don't want to be held accountable, and we want to be our own gods. And that's the thing, man, because when you as an atheist, like, in your mind, you think like, well, I'm not going to be held. I hold myself accountable. I am my own God, and I don't want to be held to any type of standard. I want to live my life the way that I live it, and I don't want to be held to a higher power, because I don't believe in a higher power, right? Like, you want to be your own God. And as a Christian or somebody that believes in God, like, you are not your God. Like, you have to die to yourself, and you have to follow the author and the creator himself. And people don't want to do that, right?
No.
So with this topic, it's like, these people, they want to live how they want to live, and they want to they want to have sex with who they want to have sex with, and it's like, and it's just, I don't know, man. It's just, I should be more saddened, and I should be more heartbroken for the people instead of being frustrated, because there's a bit of both, right? Because it's like we spend so much time promoting this evilness, and it's like, we claim, oh yeah, we love the kid. Like, no, you don't. You don't love your children. You don't love the kids. You want, like, if you did, you wouldn't be pushing this, because at the end of the day, it's wrong. It's wrong. You have an innate morality within you. You know what's right and wrong. You can sear your conscience, like, that's biblical, but at the end of the day, you know what's wrong. You know what's right and wrong, and you've suppressed the truth. You've traded truth for a lie. You've traded this for a lie. You've traded the fact that you now believe this is right. You believe this is truth. The whole trans thing, the whole, like, you now believe that that's the truth, and it's not. You've traded that for a lie.
I think that's where my statements have come in about, somebody has to kill the babysitter at some point. But the thing is that the fact of the matter is that people are, yes, they're only the only people that are in control of other people are themselves. They make their own decisions, and all you can do is at least put the good word out there, and it's up to them to make that choice. If they choose to follow sin, they'll follow sin one way or another, and it's unfortunate, but that's the choices that they're going to end up making anyway. But at least, yeah. I'd say for your own comfort, you are doing what you can to promote another way of life, to not follow that debauchery and that sin as best as you can, and that's all you can do.
It's interesting. So, what the other thing that got me irritated, I was at work, and I guess was asking about a certain.
Well, our place of work, yes, you are certainly going to find plenty of sinners and whatnot.
Yeah, so I guess was asking if there was a section of clothing, and said no, and the guest said something along the lines of like, you guys didn't deserve that because what she's like, loudmouth majority or loudmouth minority. I think she either said the majority or minority. She said one of the two ruined it for everybody. So basically what this person was saying was because the conservative or Christians spoke out about the LGBTQ stuff, this company now is not allowed to promote it, or they chose not.
Oh, you mean finally saying something, finally taking a stand?
Interesting about that,
something that all these companies capitulate and bow and gape their backsides to. Oh yes, how dare they?
Right. And so what's interesting about that is because, and I don't want to assume, but I'll use for lack of a better term, like I would infer from what I overheard is that person probably was pro LGBTQ. But what's interesting is, so you sit here and you sit here and you condemn one side for speaking their beliefs, but it's okay for you to speak yours, right? So
absolutely.
Like it's just hypocrisy. It's like, so you're
stunning and brave and all that. They were doing the righteous thing, yada yada. It's the oh God. I wish Schuster was in here because he knows the term. The whole friend enemy complex thing, where it's God, I'm trying to remember exactly it, but it's like they'll promote no matter what their side does. at any point they'll do everything they can to, absolutely signal boost it and promote it, whatever. Well, anytime there's any little bit of kickback, they'll destroy it in any means. And this is what you see them, is that they aren't afraid to bash that side.
So they're okay, yeah. Exactly.
And I'll tell you this for the section where for the section I work, since I happen to deal with mostly a bunch of old folks, more often than not do I have a lot of the old folks that are really fed up with a lot of this shit. And oftentimes, though, as we're having these conversations, they get a very hushed voice. They're trying not to be too loud. They don't want that social shame that'll come. Meanwhile, myself, I'll be a little more louder and boisterous about it, but I'll also kind of go along with it just because it makes them feel better.
The thing that's just funny about it is it's okay for you to call out this group of people that you claim to be a minority, but the minority, that
the vocal minority,
right? But the minority that is voicing their opinion, that is in opposition to you, you're now condemning them, and you're blaming this whole thing on them. Everybody has an opinion, and everybody has the right to express that opinion. But when it goes against your opinion, then all hell breaks loose, right?
Oh, does it ever?
You can have your belief, you can have your opinion, right? It just happens to be my belief that what you believe is wrong and it's sin, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to sit here and I don't know, man. Like I said, you're entitled to your opinion. You can say what you want, I guess, but I'm not going to. I don't know. I don't want to go down a line.
I guess it just depends. It just depends on how comfortable you get with wanting to share the other side. The problem is that somebody like us kind of does a little bit of kickback. And we are more sooner to lose our jobs than they are to lose theirs.
Yeah, but I just want to ask the question: well, why? Why is it okay for you to blame this side of it? Why? Who are you? You can have your opinion, but why? What does it matter? You have your opinions, and you're gonna have people. There's gonna be people. Basically, what I got from this conversation is you blame the conservative and the Christians because they came out in opposition to what they believe to be evil, and she's saying that, they're the reason why you guys can't sell that product. That's essentially what she's saying, right? And it's the product to begin with is evil. You've got
absolutely,
who created a swimsuit for both male and female kids with a penis cutout, and then he quoted that Satan cares about your pronouns. So you're selling a swimsuit with both ends cut out. Is that and you would let your child wear that? Is that not evil? Who in their right mind as a parent would let why? We're going down not to go down a rabbit hole. And I told you 7:00, but we might go over. Who cares? But who would do that? Who would allow that? You're going to sit here and you're going to complain that's
what's funny is you want to talk about a minority, that the minority group is going to be buying that stuff, not the opposition, which.
Yeah, but
which is why that stuff was pushed to the back and not.
Why would you allow that if you know that
social status, social media points, brownie points? I mean, however you want to call it. They want their clout, basically.
People know what homosexuality is. People know what transgenderism is. It is your son can be a girl, and your daughter can be a boy. And that is transgenderism, and you can make the switch, right? People know what that is. Why the heck, HE double hockey sticks as a parent? Why would you promote that? It is unnatural. It is probably the last. I don't know. I don't have statistics. I feel like the last 5-7 years, this has just caught fire. Never, as I was a child growing up, never once did I ever hear the topic on. I could be a girl. I grew up, there's time why I want to be a pilot. I would joke around, I want to be a dinosaur, whatever it is. Mainly I want to be an astronaut. I want to be an officer. Or, most of the stuff had to do with occupation. Very rarely, never did I grow up and go to my parents, I want to be a girl.
Right.
Never did I have, even those tendencies to be, you have tomboys and like whatever, but never in my 30 plus years on this planet did I ever.
And oftentimes even that's just the environment of growing up and maybe being more around brothers and stuff like that. But I mean, then oftentimes they'll be then very girly, like once they get older.
Well, yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is I was subjected to both private, Catholic, and public, right? And I went to not a great public school, right? In the sense of like everybody went there, right? So I had all different walks of life. But even through that, the homosexuality was like, I was like introduced probably in high school, but like never once did even my friends, did we ever talk about becoming a girl? That was never a reality. You know why? Because it's unnatural. It's not a thing. There's two genders.
Rarely. Again, like even being in California, was that a topic of
the reason why
conversation?
The reason why this idiocracy and ideology has been able to flourish is because we're giving hearty approval to it.
Either hearty approval to it or just basically apathy, just going with the line of you live just so long as you're doing it within the privacy of your own door, your own house.
Well, you don't even do that anymore. Like
you are your own individual. You're allowed to do what you want with your body and crap like that, so long as you're of age. But that is always skewed.
Now, man,
because they kept pushing boundaries. They kept pushing it and pushing
That's the thing, though.
So depending on whatever thing you wanted to say, it was all just a means of making us more pliable towards this way. So, like I said, and some people kicked back in the day, but they were chastised. They were browbeaten. They were called, homophobes and whatever. To beat them into submission, unfortunately. Instead of continuing to fight, they finally had enough and took the knee. So
they did. They're slurping and they're genuflecting to this Luciferian doctrine, to quote Steve Diggs. But no, like no one's standing up. They're capitulating, and that's the reason why this has been allowed to flourish, because you have the one side that is promoting the sin. And you have the other side, i.e. the church, that is predominantly not standing up and saying enough is enough. And even American, and this even goes to the Americans who are conservative, and they're not. When are we gonna, like, to quote Todd Erzin, when are we gonna wake up? When are we gonna say enough is enough and stop it? You're never gonna stop evilness. You're not gonna stop that, right? But what the point I'm trying
until it gets really bad,
right? But the point I'm trying to make is here. Well, when is enough gonna be enough? When are you gonna stand up and say, like, no, like we're not going to do this. We're not going to, this is wrong. We don't believe in it. And we're not going to stand for it. Right. A really good question was posed today when I was listening to that show. It's like, are we better off without the Republican? If you're conservative, are we better off without the Republican Party? And that really got me thinking. I was like, that's a really good question, because we've done this dance over and over again. We keep electing the same officials. We keep going to the voting booth, and nothing has changed. And in my opinion, the Republican Party is just as bad, in the sense of maybe not. I think they're just worthless, honestly. And that question got me thinking, because we're just, you've got there's this senator or the superintendent. I forget what his name is. Matt Ryan. He's in Oklahoma, but like Oklahoma has not lost a Republican. They have not lost an election. Like a Democrat, it's been since like the 70s since a Democrat was in office. But like the Republicans in Oklahoma are trying to censor Matt Ryan, I think is his name, because he's going against LGBTQ and the like the sex trafficking or within the schools and whatnot. And so like we're electing these people who claim to be Republican, and they're capitulating to the same stuff. Like, and so I thought it was a good question. So, what are your thoughts? You think we would just would we be better off as a people if we just got rid of the Republicans? Because, like, what are they doing?
They basically need the Darth Bane treatment. A thought bomb needs to take place, and we need to restructure.
The other
because they are, and like is actually to Static's point here, as he said, the Republican Party is Democrats with training wheels. And I've said this before, they are just they are just that, but they have the Democrats are the accelerationists, while the Republicans they'll just ease their foot a little bit off the gas, just a little bit, just to make people not so uncomfortable as we careen down the 7th levels of hell.
This is probably going to be a topic for like next show, because we need to figure out if we're going to, I don't know, about doing a 2-part thing for Stargate, but another topic I want to get into, and maybe I'll save it, but we live in this fantasy that, I guess, let me ask you a question. Do you think, and we can talk about it the next show, but do you think, are they really going to send Trump to jail, or are they not going to send Trump to jail?
I mean,
I don't know if you guys talked about this on the pregame.
No, we didn't get it. We were mostly consumed by the whole Acolyte stuff. So
we'll save it for later. But
if I could say I think that's going to be their they would love to do, but even I think that might be where they're holding back just a little bit. Because if you do something like that, then I think you would activate his base to levels of January 6th and then some. Except maybe this time they might actually do something other than hang out and be let in by security guards.
Yeah.
Who knows though? Who honestly knows? Considering the governmental power that was flexed upon just regular citizens that were doing their otherwise civic duty of protest for what they believed was a false situation. And again, they were let in to the building. All the camera footage and stuff like that is evidence to just that, but they are still being wrongly, thrown into jail and stuff like that. And they've been branded traitors to America. I mean, God, if only the Republicans would do that to the Democrats. God.
Well, hold on. So what's the difference between... So hold on, really quick. What's the difference between what happened January 6th and then the Black Lives Matter with all the looting and...
because that was for St. George Floyd. He was wrongly killed.
Oh, okay. So
and January 6th was Orange Man bad. His supporters are... zealots also bad, and therefore they were causing a greater disruption because they were at
So the whole Black Lives Matter protest, that was justified
during the Black Lives Matter riot. They did kill a former a retired black police officer and shit like that. But that didn't get brought up.
Thank you for clarifying. We're not at all cynical on the show or sorry.
No.
I'm glad that you explained and the reason why the illegal activities that were going on during Black Lives Matter are now justified because they were just trying to protest George Floyd and whatnot.
Yeah, that's why it's the summer of love. It's the summer of love, baby.
But why people that were just standing there, inside the Capitol are now 40 plus years in prison.
Walking inside the ropes. What an unruly bunch. How dare they?
Oh
my God.
This is why, people need to wake up. If you don't think this country is going to become trending down like China, the totalitarianism, and you don't think that they would come after you, you need to wake up and look at what's happening with Trump. They're doing it to Trump, and if they're doing it to him, they'll do it to you, and they'll do it to me. So this is not a joke. This is
just a warm up. This is just a warm up.
It's just a spectacle. This is a public execution under the guise of a trial, right? They have to formulate as a trial, to give it some type of legality or the appearance of a legality. But this is absolutely a witch hunt, and they're going after him. And if you think that it's not going to happen, or it's crazy. You need to wake up. It's happening. They're going after him. They are afraid of him, and they want him in jail, and they're trying to bury him. Right. And I said on the last show, he's not without his faults. He's not without his sin. Has he done some corrupt stuff? Sure. But you know what? he is, and predominantly he's been the one that has challenged him and has tried to drain the swamp. Did he mess up during the election where he allowed the lockdowns to happen? Yeah, the whole slow the
that's what kicked him in the balls.
It was interesting. They were talking on the Steve Day show this morning. That was his nail in the coffin because he went along with it. I think that was where, and that's why he's in the position.
The lockdowns, then the whole the Fauci ouchie and everything. Yeah.
So we talk more on that, but I just posed the question: do you really think they, is he going to? Are they really going to send him to jail? Is he going to do what's going to happen? And so I've heard two different people. One person said no. I think they just want to paint him as a convicted felon, so people won't say that they voted for a convicted felon on the ballot. And other people are saying, no, he's going to go to jail. So the tricky thing about going to jail is every president has to have a Secret Service protection detail. And how are you going to send this dude to Rikers and have
with that detail? Yeah.
So, and another interesting thing was I got to reach out to Static because I got to figure out, you guys do on Mondays, but I think this would be a good topic for Mondays. The other thing is is he going to, why did Biden now just decide he wanted to debate him with this whole trial? And,
how's that coming now?
Yeah, sentencing will be the July 11th, I think, is the sentencing, and their debate's supposed to be sometime after that. Don't quote me, but I don't know, man. It's just.
Oh, so we're gonna have something to talk about Thursday then.
Oh, is it Thursday? Oh, okay, Thursday. So I thought Bloodbath is Bloodbath the political stuff or no?
Bloodbath is the main political show for Mondays, but because Static's brother isn't gonna be popping back in, last I knew for the weekend pregame, Static said that politics will be back on the menu, boys. So he'll occasionally bring it up, and if it's something big like this, he's probably gonna bring it up.
Is Bloodbath still a thing or no?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because it's still gonna be weekend pregame is still us laughing at Clown World shit.
Okay.
That's the main focus of that. While Bloodbath is the political sphere completely. So, absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
let me get to some of the chats. We've been ranting and raving for a good.
I said 7 o'clock, but we'll probably be a little bit after. But I got to go.
See, Brandon Trent was saying Arkham Shadows is confirmed to be a sequel for Arkham Origins. Oh, that's interesting. The plot hints there will be villain origins for Harley, Scarecrow, Two-Face before the start of Arkham Asylum. Spartacus had said, pride is what drove Lucifer and his angels to rebel against God. To fight pride, we must humble ourselves, especially to God's will. And then said, they demanded to be recognized as equals to hetero couples. Then they demanded to have something similar to hetero marriage. Then they demanded homo marriage. They're a demandy bunch. Hey, On Point Salad, how's it going? Said the green bitch. Yep, the green bitch. The green bitch. Spartacus said, and now society is engineering us to view marriage as pointless and a waste. To government is making it more profitable to be single or at least unmarried. My brother and I's taxes would beg to differ. And then said, sadly, Jordan Peterson is surrounded by that lot at Daily Wire. Ugh.
Yeah.
Controlled opposition. On Point Salad said Qui-Gon was secretly a misogynist. Obviously. Well, obviously. That's why everybody liked Qui-Gon. He knew how to put a woman in her place. Spartacus said, sometimes they aren't dressed as women. Sometimes they are dressed as monsters, dragons, demons, etc. That's the drag queen story hours segment. Static was saying the number of man is 6. Spartacus said there are 7 colors in a true rainbow. 7 is a holy number. 6 colors are in the pride rainbow, a mockery of the true rainbow. But man, do they keep adding different shit to it. Brandon Tran said, Jordan Peterson is right that enforcing agenda at every school to kids sounds very similar to the dictator Kim Jong-un controlling every North Korean citizen who have no rights or freedom. North Korea is in a weird place for sure. Spartacus said, it's also interesting that the pride flag originally meant for everyone, not just the gays, but modern pride flag seeps covering up the original pride flag with everything else. That is kind of funny, isn't it? Like this keeps encroaching on everything else in that flag. And then says the original pride movement was LGBS, S as in straight. Wasn't until after I left high school that they dropped the S and added the T. The pride movement has been hijacked and further perverted.
No pun intended.
I would say it was always their it was always their aim person. And I originally knew it as the LGB. And then they later added the T. I didn't recall it ever being S. I never quite caught that one. But it's my memory is what it is, and I wasn't always as observant as I am of this shit now. But yeah, I'm also of the opinion though that it was always their goal. One way or another, this was their game, considering that Nambla was always part of their pride parade. So until people started paying attention a little more closely to the pride parades and got him out. Brendan Trent says, speaking of forcing agenda, Henry Cavill brought up a good point that Hollywood should stop using forced romances in every movie. Yeah, I mean, I don't see where it's always completely necessary to have a romance and stuff like that. For certain story situations, sure, but not all of them. Meteor Advocate Timon says, we used to sing the national anthem and the flag anthem every week. Oh. In his school, yeah. Spartacus said, not just have sex with them, but to force themselves on the two men, the disguised angels, because Sodom and Gomorrah were saturated in sin and wicked deeds. It was a cancer that needed to be destroyed. Basically San Francisco now. Let's see. Spartacus said, fathers are a representation of God, the father in the family. He's the one that sets the tone of the family. Undermine the father, the family falls apart, and children become vulnerable. And we were touching on that. Spartacus says, look at what happened to Drake Bell. His dad was doing his best to protect him from a gay man who worked on Nickelodeon's show. The gay man had tricked people to have the father removed as Drake's manager, and Drake became a target by the gay man, seriously screwing him up in the head to where he started targeting younger girls. Oh, well, yeah, like there's then a perpetuating cycle of abuse when that happens to people. The modern church is trying to hold hands with the world. You can't be accepted by the world and follow God. You can't have two masters. It seems to be what people get a little lost in. It's like, yeah. Brendan Tran saying, don't know if you're a fan of the Sony's Venom movies. Do you guys think Venom 3, The Last Dance will be good or another flop like Madam Web and Morbius?
If Sam Raimi does it, it'll be good.
I watched the trailer. I think honestly, when it comes to the whole Venom series, they really missed out on actually having Spider-Man be included in any of that to then also get the very trademark Venom suit look with the spider emblem and everything. I always liked Venom. I thought he was a really cool, originally villain. I know he became like an anti-hero and stuff like that with Eddie Brock. Honestly, like I felt like it was just in such a weird place because again, I think the Venom suit, the symbiotes need to first be attached to Spider-Man. That needs to be the starting place for it, and they completely just like ignored that. They didn't even bring Spider-Man at all into either of the two films. I don't even think referenced. They brought him into the end of No Way Home, which was weird. And now I knew they're not doing anything with that. So I don't, and from the trailer, they could be hiding it, but it certainly looks like they aren't going to be having Spidey make an appearance. And I also think it's a real waste considering they brought on Tom Hardy for this. He's been around for all three of these things, and including this fucking cameo in No Way Home. You don't often get somebody that's going to hang around and do a part like this, and unfortunately, this feels like a waste of time. Considering I don't think they have many other plans for this stuff, so it's unfortunate. And I think the Venom and Venom vs. Carnage did okay, but not. I don't think a lot of people were too keen on it because I think they kept it toned down. And I think people were expecting, what was it, like American Psycho? Not American Psycho. People were, because it was Woody Harrelson that was playing Cletus Cassidy. And I think they were there was a movie where he played basically a psycho serial killer. And that's exactly what Cletus is, be Carnage. So I think they missed the spot on that one, which is unfortunate because but I haven't watched either of the two movies because I just did not get a good impression from it. Like I said, I think Spidey needs to be a part of it. Static with his Republic Party is Democrats with training wheels. We got that one. Brandon Tran said it was Hitman. This is for you, sir. Surprisingly, there's one animal that can legally change its gender: sheephead fish and clownfish. Think of Finding Nemo. According to science, wish I was making this up, but it's true. In the animal kingdom, yes, some animals have been known to sound like Dr. Grant, known to change sex from male to female in a single sex environment. But
animals, not humans.
That's going to be my point. That is designated for two specific animals, and that's been known for their species since ever. Human beings have not shown the ability to change sex at all, unless you are trying to get Dr. Frankenstein to mutilate your body, much like he did to the monster. So, no. But I mean, I get your point. I see your point there. Yes, some animals do that, but human beings are an entirely different animal altogether. We are still animals at the end of the day, but just a different kind. We just evolved in a different way. Meter Advocate Simone, world needs more libertarianism. My brother sent me a meme about libertarians. Hang on. You might find this insulting, but let's face it, there's some truth to it. Got the gay and the retarded, and in between, the gay retards of libertarianism. I have no love for that section either. As an ideology, because that's what it is, just another ideology. Spartacus saying yes, but human. Oh, he's responding to the Meteor Timon there. But human is not a clownfish. In fact, God made us unique and separate from animals of the earth. We were made in God's image, and we're given the gift of choice. Spartacus said, during BLM, thousands of casualties, killed and injured, billions in damages, but that's nothing compared to peacefully walking and roped and off walking paths in the Capitol. Those bunch of rowdy grandmas and stuff, how dare they? Spartacus said, Crowder pointed this out. January 6th was a setup to stop an attempt by the few GOP House reps or senators to call for a recount. After January 6th, those GOP politicians were shamed into silence. I could see that. I mean, there were people in the crowd that people found out were feds. So yeah, there's truth to that. And it says they can't stop Trump. They have to cheat or take him out one way or another. That's for sure. Brandon Trent saying, if we're comparing U.S. presidents, the government could have arrested President Nixon years ago during Vietnam War. but they never did because he left office. Speaking on Nixon, I believe Static is going to be having that as a topic for Monday Night Bloodbath. So check that out Monday. Check him out Monday for that. And Sparta is laughing because it's already 7:20 where he is. Well, not for us, okay? It's 6:33 for us. Static saying, fuck yeah, being married is a huge tax break. Meteor Advocate Timon says, yes, first Spidey, second Black Suit, Spidey, third Venom. Yeah. I would love for Venom to be done properly. Unfortunately, Sam Raimi, they forced that upon him because he really just wanted to do more of the Sandman storyline from everything that I've gathered. I wish he could have done it more appropriately. Like I said, I got introduced to Venom thanks to the 90s Spider-Man animated series. I really liked the character. The design was cool. The abilities were awesome. He brought an special danger to Spider-Man because of the fact he blocked his spider senses and everything. And I know that in and of itself could lend to some really cool story moments for a movie and stuff too. So, it's unfortunate. Spartacus saying, was it Eddie Brock that Venom became an anti-hero? I thought it was Flash Thompson with things like Agent Venom. Brock did have his moments of being an occasional anti-hero because even that there's the occasion of the whole separation anxiety thing where you had the multiple symbiotes that came about, not just Carnage, but like him, Spider-Man and Venom did have to team up multiple times to take down Cletus a few times. So there was moments like that. And yeah, they slowly kind of changed him into a bit of a anti-hero type, kind of like a Punisher, because he definitely did get more brutal. But then they eventually gave Brock cancer, got rid of the symbiote from him, and gave it to Flash Thompson for the Agent Venom stuff. And I probably became more hero-esque. But yeah, there was this slow transition to it. Meteor Advocate Simone says, when I say libertarian, I don't mean a party. I mean freedom, less government. I gotcha. I've been wanting to share that meme for a little bit. The static says, Nixon won't leave me alone. Oh, God, I feel like that's a joke that I've heard before. God damn it. And I don't have the follow-up. Meteor Advocate Simone says, no, that's 70s show Venom. What? Mom? Oh, Venom. Okay. Brendan Trent says, Venom 3 probably won't show Spider-Man because Sony believes their Sinister Six verse with Kraven the Hunter and Morbius will work. Oh, God, that Kraven. You know, it's really a shame because, like, they have the ability to put together a really fantastic set. And they had their chance, especially with Raimi, somebody who really loved the property. Somebody that knew the character, knew the lore and stuff like that. And they just dropped the ball so goddamn hard. And then the Amazing Spider-Man was okay. Like, I still have a lot of problems with Amazing Spider-Man 2. Especially that ending. Fuck that ending. But they hinted at Sinister Six, even in that time. But now, like, I haven't watched Morbius. I still haven't watched it. The only thing I know mainly about it is the meme of Morbin time. And Kraven the Hunter, last I knew, he was, as Meteor Advocate Timon says, vegan Kraven. Or Spartacus, vegetarian and Greenpeace Kraven. Take your pick. one or the other. They've basically pussified and are going to try and make some kind of message out of a guy that's a primal hunter. A guy that's his whole motif is hunting every and any animal he humanly can to eventually becoming the Kraven the Hunter that we know. It's like, what the fuck is wrong? He's not. Oh, God. It's painful. It's really fucking painful. And they have great stories that they can tell using that character too, with between him and Spider-Man. Frustration to no end. Frustration to no end. Static says Amazing Spider-Man 2 was terrible, but I still like Garfield as Spider-Man. Yeah. Spider-Man 2 hit Spider-Man 3 levels of too many villains. They've kind of kicked in Green Goblin through Harry Osborn. If they were going to do that, they really should have built that up, but they didn't. They just immediately popped into it. I didn't like Jamie Foxx as Electro.
No, he wasn't blue. He was green in the comics, wasn't he? And he had a star on the face. Is that not a thing?
And he was a redhead. He was another ginger that got blacked. Another ginger side. But yeah, this is. Hang on, I'm getting a. But you're kind of right. You're not necessarily wrong. But yeah, that's Electro. Yeah, he's got the green and yellow suit and the electronic stuff for his dome there. Hang on, let me get a better. There we go. So yeah, like I said, not necessarily wrong, but that's his class, his look. Not one of my favorite villains of Spider-Man, but he could have been handled a lot better. And I like the funny thing was with Garfield, it always felt like he wanted to just go off and be Spider-Man. And it's kind of funny when you think about it, like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, he wanted to just be Peter Parker. I think at the end of the day, it's like he kind of just wanted to be. He wanted to live a normal life.
What he wants to do,
huh?
And Tom Holland just doesn't know what he wants to do.
Well, Tom Holland's whole 3 movies was nothing but an origin story.
Yeah,
it's like, wow, that's a long way to tell an origin story.
Comic books, but it's like he's like riding the tailcoats of like Tony Stark, and I don't know in the comic books if that was a thing.
No. No, Spider-Man has always been. Think of it, he is kind of like the antithesis to or not the antithesis, but he's like he's a little less gloomier version of Batman and he's not a billionaire. He's very much the loner. He's generally worked alone. He especially has not had any sidekicks, really.
Not according to Miles Morales and Spider-Man.
But but he has done team ups occasionally, but it's always been mostly like he does a lot of the fighting on his own, and that's kind of been the thing. But yeah, he's that. I don't know where I was going with that because what did you ask again?
What was I saying? Oh, you right in the tailcoats of
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. So with Peter, he always was like the inventor. That was kind of his thing, was like he invented all the gadgets for himself. He invented all the kind of different techniques that he did for capturing villains. He was very adaptable in his fights, and that was also kind of part of how he went about fighting people. That was kind of like why he joked around and kind of mocked them and stuff like that. It was kind of a tactic to throw off his enemies by being a sarcastic asshole, or just really just riling them up to make them have an accident or slip up or whatever. And that was part of his he's very creative in what he would do. And again, like I said, he was adaptable. Just thinking on the fly, I'm trying to think of the other word for that, but because like part of the story elements too would be he ran out of web fluid, so he'd have to change up how he fought the enemy, or change the
Not if you're Tobey
situation.
Maguire, he made it physical.
Well, no, they changed that for Raimi's Spider-Man, which people had problem with. I kind of didn't. I wasn't
made them physically. It was like in a lab, right? His body never produced it.
No, his body never produced it. That was specifically for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Like, it was organic webbing, which, like I said, people hated it. I was of the mind it wasn't a bad change. It wasn't the worst change in the world. I thought it kind of gave him more spider powers than just crawling on walls. So, I did. That was like the one time where, like, in an adaptation, I was not being completely anal about the power changes. But I understand why people were like nixed on that idea. So, because like I said, it added to extra story elements to have happen, to go on, to make it that, like, he could run into a situation where he'd run out of web fluid and have to change up his fighting tactics and stuff like that. So, but yeah, like he was like the inventor of everything. But yeah, like the Tom Holland Spider-Man, he is Iron Boy, Iron Lad, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, he rode on the coattails of Tony Stark. And that's what especially pissed me off with what was it? The first Tom Holland Spider-Man solo movie. Was it Home something?
Oh, Far From Home?
No, that was the second one,
Away
I think.
From Home?
Homecoming.
Oh, yeah.
Is that then like, oh, he unlocked the part of the suit and it gave him all of the different techniques and abilities and stuff like that. All stuff that in the comic series and everything, Peter himself had invented and created and adapted and stuff like that to what his arsenal was. He is like a genius level guy. They just have what they call the Parker luck, and sometimes it tends to be bad luck. So yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. Spartacus saying Garfield's Spider-Man would have been perfect for a Venom story. Spider-Man wrestling with his guilt and anger after losing Gwen and him meeting Mary Jane. You know what? Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. That actually could be a very good idea, Spartacus. I actually agree with that. And I didn't mind Garfield as Spider-Man. I thought he did a good job. He was a little better with like some of the quips and stuff. I just wish he also, to help kind of form a little more of an attachment with that, with him in the role, I do wish that he was brought on to voice the character for the Amazing Spider-Man tie-in games. I think that could have lent more, because that's also why I really like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, is because he not only played the character in the movies, but then he played the character for the video games. So it really helped, bring that character even more together, considering then, like, you had extra content that in the video games they added, going up against different bosses. I will admit, when I recently had installed like the Dolphin emulator and the Spider-Man 2 game, some of the voice acting is a little stilted here and there. Doesn't flow as well as it does in the movie, but yeah, like I can kind of understand like why people would see some cracks in that. But I still think Spider-Man 2 is that one in particular is the superior of the Spider-Man games for sure. And he says, I know this will be controversial, but I sort of did like the blue look for Electro. I mean, hey, that's, you liked it. I didn't really, one way or another, I just didn't think it was a good fit. I mean, it was great to see a different villain. I don't know. Like, I am kind of like, I think it would have been great. I think it'd be great sometimes just to see the costumes in live action, even as maybe like as cheesy or as corny as they potentially can look. I think it could have been great. Brandon saying Sony canceling Spider-Man 4 was a mistake. We almost saw Bruce Campbell as Mysterio. I've heard that. Yeah, I think that would have been freaking phenomenal. He would have been a much better Mysterio than freaking Jake Gyllenhaal was. And definitely Raimi would have been much more faithful to that character, I think. And it just would have played so well, especially with it being Bruce Campbell, considering Mysterio is supposed to be kind of a washed up, kind of a washed up former actor or stunt guy, whatever. It would have worked perfectly with it being Bruce Campbell, especially since we were like seeing him throughout the movies and everything. It would have been phenomenal. So, Timon says, Amazing Spider-Man was bad. They changed with, they did change that up. Tom Holland, Iron Lad was nothing like Spidey. I agree. A Spider-Man AI suit was the dumbest. That was what bugged the hell out of me with Homecoming, was the stupid AI suit. He was with everything Iron Lad, and then that was like his Jarvis or whatever. I was not big on that. Spartacus saying, I don't mind Tom Holland's Peter / Spider-Man when he's on his own, but when he's relying on Iron Man, then I just roll my eyes. Relying on Iron Man, or relying on his girlfriend, or relying on the fat Asian kid, whomever. Like, he's very codependent. He's codependent Spider-Man. Thank you, for Spider-Chris Homecoming. Yeah. Timon says, I'll play character A as a totally different character B. Why? Well, I will have to say this night went in a completely different direction than I was anticipating it to go.
In a bad way?
Not in a bad way. Just in a very unique way for us, considering what we've generally covered in the past. I definitely had I did not expect everything else that you brought up. Like I said,
I could just post like an hour before the show just to see if you see it in Discord.
Oh yeah, I always check to make sure. Like I've sent you the link and stuff like that, and I'm looking at all this. I'm like, and I saw like especially like the Jordan Peterson thing. I'm like, oh, he's gonna want to talk about that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Bombardment.
Are you going to continue to watch Acolyte?
I am curious what this episode 3 is going to bring. Yeah. I won't lie. I got to know. So we'll find out. Brandon asking, do you think Michael Keaton was underused as Vulture in Homecoming? He was the standout for that movie. Underused, not necessarily. I think he was used appropriately, but because it was because the whole thing was meant to be our introduction for Spider-Man, for this Spider-Man. What I do think was unnecessary was, again, and this was a problem I had with the Raimi Spider-Man movies, is that everybody finds out his goddamn secret identity. Like, can we knock that shit off, please? Not everybody needs to find out who the fuck he is. So, that's been my main problem, but I thought Michael Keaton was great as the Vulture. I just think they should have maybe built up more with him returning. It really felt like they got separated from that whole aspect after the first movie, because like they hinted like there was going to be more at the end of Homecoming, like they did the whole after trailer or after credits teaser, but then it just kind of went nowhere. And last I heard, I thought he made an appearance in the Morbius movie, but as far as I've known, nothing's really come of that either. So it's unfortunate, but I definitely would have liked to have seen more. What I remember hearing about like Sam Raimi's original plans for his Spider-Man series was he was going to build up with Goblin a lot more. He wasn't going to originally kill him off in the first movie, but because the studio, I think it was so unsure on how popular the movie was going to be, they didn't know if they were going to be able to get a sequel. So they unfortunately wrapped that up. I think it would have been much better to, build of the trilogy of Green Goblin being kind of the looming threat instead of just kind of the one movie, one villain thing, which is unfortunately what they've just done is one movie, one villain for each time. I think that's the problem too with then like they feel like they have to then, they find out who he is. Then that's like their only way of driving an end conflict. But I think, if they had actually built it up and maybe worked towards it, it could have been a lot better. But that's just me. Timon thinks that Vulture should have looked a bit older. To be more accurate, he should have. So I guess I'll be one of those retards that just said his performance was really good and I really enjoyed it. That I felt like, you can pass on it, but you're right. You're absolutely right. Yes, secret identities don't last 30 minutes these days. Everybody's taking off their freaking mask or helmet or whatever the hell it is within no time flat. Stop it. Spartacus says they did reset the whole secret identity thing at the end of no. I know they did, but that's not going to last. That's not going to last. He's going to be whipping that thing off in no time. 3 movies too late, says Timon. Yeah. Brendan Trent says Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin is the best villain of Raimi's trilogy. Dude, I think he's probably one of the best casts so far for a villain. And I wish he had more of the actual Green Goblin look. Like, I think that would have been fantastic. Like, I saw the animatronic head and everything that they were doing for it. That could have been phenomenal. Oh my God. I mean, the helmet wasn't bad, but like, I almost did kind of dig what they did with No Way Home, where he kind of has a mixture of looks going on. He has the whole tattered clothing hood thing going on with the goggles. But you're almost getting there. You're almost getting to it. And he's still wearing like the body armor, which that could have been fine. But I really would have loved to have seen like a good adaptation for the Green Goblin full look. I wasn't big on the Ultimate Spider-Man comics with the Green Goblin being a full body transformation. I wasn't too big on that. Well, you said you wanted to keep it at a certain time.
Yeah.
We've well gone over that, but
it's all good.
Should we go into any other topics or shall we?
I say we save them. I'd say probably save them. Make the show interesting next week.
All right. So shall we start our gating?
Yeah.
All right. Let me fire it up and I'll send out the links. Okay, and hello, sir. How are you? He's still loading up.
Loading. Politics?
That's the one.
Let's go.
Whoops. Let's see. Do you hear the kitty?
I heard the kitty.
Okay. You're not in the watch party group, dude. That was a lovely noise.
Was that who?
You. The belching noise.
Sorry,
you're also not in the Discord group.
It's all the. Oh, I'm not. Who is?
You're not. You're not in the Discord watch party. Yeah, you.
Oh, I thought you were talking to Spartacus. Hold on, stand by.
Oh, he's already in there. Him and Simone are already in there waiting.
Give it a minute. Give it a minute. I'm not the technical guy over here. Well, let me.
All right, got the kitty.
Now I can speak.
Oh, there we go. There you are.
Fighting with this silly, stupid thingy.
Thingamajig?
Yes.
Static is getting water. We'll be there shortly. All right, dude. Sounds good. Sounds good. Oh, there you are. There you are. You got the logo now and everything. Nice. Nice.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I want to kind of give an extra moment for Static to get his butt in here. Let's see. You need to send it.
In a day.
What episode is this?
This is politics. This is
probably the greatest episodes out there.
The clip show, basically, as they gear up for the finale. But this is where we get introduced to Senator Kinsey as he's deciding whether or not the Stargate program is worth staying.
This isn't more of a documentary style. I forget. Wasn't there? No, maybe not.
So this is the third to last episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, it sets the whole thing up for like what they do later on as their clip show event, while still adding story to it all. They make it relevant.
Who's better, Kinsey or Biden?
You know what? I mean, Kinsey, you could possibly work with begrudgingly, at least.
Right.
But he's also more cunning than Biden.
Yes. Yes.
The difference is Kinsey can formulate a sentence and doesn't look like he's crapping his pants.
Exactly.
Or physically crapping his pants.
Kinsey is the one pulling the strings, not the ones having the strings pulled on him. He's usually the one in charge of some of this shit that goes on and trying to muck with things. Besides,
he's the one who started the NID, dude.
Yeah.
He started the NID.
So yeah, I mean, you're substituting one evil for another. So yeah, and like Timon says, Kinsey doesn't shit himself. All right, let's get. Hopefully, Static will be here any moment. Let's go.
Ooh, geez.
We started yet?
Yep, starting it now.
Oh, hold on. I thought Static's not in here yet.
Oh, he's here.
Hello, sir.
What were you going to say?
Discord.
What?
Oh, no, there he is.
I'm here now.
Let's go.
A little weird, but you didn't have to go that far.
That's why he wants a wife on every planet.
Excuse me?
Wait, can nobody hear it or? Oh wait, no, you guys are hearing it.
I can't hear
It's
it
very
well.
dim through Riverside or Restream.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to boost that desktop audio.
Of Ra took
Better,
place.
much better.
Okay, good.
An attack of retribution.
Yes.
And the same thing is going to happen here unless we stop it.
All right, wait a minute. Let me get something straight. Engaged?
Theoretically possible.
It's against regulations.
That's his focus.
The whole concept of all
What do you
the
mean? What do you mean you don't want to be engaged with
was
me?
predicted by Einstein.
You might all be here. How's our boy?
He's going to be just fine, General. Major Samuels.
That's Lieutenant Colonel Samuels now, Captain.
Now there's an echo.
I beg your pardon, sir.
Oh,
Congratulations.
you have Discord probably feeding you.
You'll always be
too.
Sparky to me.
I thought you'd been transferred to the Pentagon, sir.
I was. Stargate mission analysis. I'm here today, of course.
All right, Simone's saying it's now better.
Senator Kinsey, the Stargate program, I thought you were going to testify.
They will. SG-1 just returned from a mission last night. I haven't had the chance to inform them.
Well, perhaps I shouldn't say too much more.
Oh, cut the crap, Samuels. What's going on?
Senator Kinsey has taken a great deal of interest in the program. And thus far, he hasn't liked what he's seen.
Sorry to hear that.
As you should be, Colonel. It could mean the end of the Stargate. The hearing is at 1400 hours. I look forward to seeing you all there.
Yay.
Oh, joy.
Hearings.
Seeing nothing but not nothing but clips, but like certainly a definitely lower budget episode where they just recycles things. They do it very well.
Yes.
And like you said earlier, you know, it still adds to the story, to what's going on and everything.
I still think it's top notch, and I don't think it was low budget, but this was the episode I was talking about.
Well, I just mean like they keep it so centralized to, you know, just the Stargate command office and everything. That's just kind of what I mean. Is just that they keep it and not going to location to shoot and stuff like that. That's all.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, this entire episode was shot in one room.
Basically. Yeah, in a room. Other than the one shot they do for the incoming SGC team, what was it, SG2 or 3 or whatever, coming through the gate, that was it. But otherwise, yeah, they just keep it to one room. They use the stock footage for the outside the mountain. Otherwise, you know, it's a clip episode.
Yeah.
But
it's absolutely fantastic, and we can't get anything good in Acolyte. It's just crazy.
Well, what I suddenly got kind of curious about too is how Jack's like, hey, sign me up. I'm going with teal'c. That'd definitely be kind of an interesting like what if scenario. Like what if to follow what if teal'c and Jack just went out solo and just started causing havoc for the Gould.
Yeah.
How much would they have gotten done and stuff like that? Because they did that. I remember at least in Atlantis, they kind of did like this whole talking about the fact of John Shepard being taken out of time, and he gets caught up on a lot of different stuff that takes place, and it basically becomes one giant what if scenario. But it does like Sam goes on like guerrilla hit runs on the wraiths and everything. So it's like it would be kind of a curious little story exercise. What would have happened?
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah. And then this is setting up for the next set of episodes.
The next two, the season finale.
Yep.
Are you going to be doing those back to back, or are you going to?
I've been debating that, and I've been debating like if we want to maybe like do it like switching completely over to like Rumble and Odyssey and like those platforms and Kick, and just actually able to put it up on view for people to watch along instead of just doing it in Discord. I don't know. I'm still trying to decide what would be a good route to take for that.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, we were thinking of doing it as a double header. because you really, it's like you almost have to go into, just
unless you want to leave it on that cliffhanger there.
I know.
Like, wait, what's happening? Why are we stopping now? It was just getting good.
It was just getting no. Exactly. Oh yeah. Ah, poop. Timon says I also like the one episode where they appeared of in Thor saying that they will only work with SG-1. Yeah, that's another good one. Yeah, I like that one because he even corrects Kinsey as like Supreme Commander Thor.
Yes. Well, it's not just like only work with SG-1. It was revolving around General Hammond. Like, there was a whole committee of these other nations. You got America, you have Britain, you have France, you have Russia, you have China, all kind of came together, and they're debating on how to program is going to work from that point on. And Thor arrives to say, "Hey, you better leave it under the command of General Hammond because we."
Well, he even kind of prefaces, if I remember right, is like, while not entirely determined on it being so, we prefer it being under the command of Hammond and the SG-1 team, essentially.
Yeah.
That was like very much their terms of, if you want to work with us, that's how it has to be.
Yeah.
Massive power play. And that's like, gotta love it. Cause and then it's kind of that, I believe that goes into the whole Anubis stuff too.
Yes, it does.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So you missed the whole thing, Static?
Pretty much.
Dude, your internet's gay as hell.
I don't know what the hell happened.
Was your brother downloading stuff he isn't supposed to?
I don't know what he's doing. He might not even be.
Oh, well, damn it. That ruins my joke. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just kind of like a whole clip episode and gets them geared to basically snubbing their nose at what the commands they are given to go follow Daniel Jackson's information about the attack location.
Should we or should we not? Continue with the Stargate program, or should we just shut it down and everything?
Right. And then trying to convince the Senator Kinsey on whether or not they keep the project going. And Kinsey has the big stick up his ass. Is like, no, we will face the ghoul threat because we're awesome. Because America.
If that was Biden, he'd be saying, "No, just let them in. They're fine. They're not going to do anything."
Brings a whole new meme to illegal aliens, right?
Yep. So what if they want to put a snake in the back of our neck?
It might help us. You don't know.
They're not hurting.
Oh yeah, close the prawn tabs. There, that might help. God. But yeah, that's kind of the fun of this particular episode.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun episode. Even though it is just everything we already know, but it's put together in a way that's it's a
good recap. It's a good recap, and I mean we have been doing this week to week. So it's kind of in form, you know. We've been doing it week to week, watching each episode pretty much week to week. We've skipped a couple of weeks, but I mean that's kind of it refreshes us on some of what they've considered the more important episodes, which apparently we skipped a couple, Hitman, because you didn't want to watch them.
Which one? Lazarus?
That was one.
Yeah, it's not good. It wasn't good. Boring.
There's also the one with the crystals.
But that was Lazarus.
Was it?
Hang on, I'm checking right now. Yes, Lazarus is the crystal episode. Also, Brief Candle was the other one we skipped, which was where he turned into an old man thanks to the
I like that episode.
Oh, now you say you liked it.
Yeah, because he's my that's how I envision myself in the next 2 years if this keeps happening. If we keep going down
crotchety old grandpa.
If we keep going down this path, I'm gonna be crotchety.
Did you do Fire and Water? I don't remember.
Yes, we did.
Yes. Oh, that's fantastic. That's
that's
fun.
right. That's right. We were. I was there.
Yep, we did. What Fate Amaroka?
That's gonna be if we ever open our shop. That's gonna be. There's 2 shirts. They're consistent about being inconsistent and what Fate Amaroka.
You did an Enigma, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's good too. That's a good episode.
With the Tolan.
Mm-hmm.
And we even did Tin Man. We even did Tin Man despite Hitman's protests. He does not like, come try.
Solitudes.
Yep, we did Solitudes since that reveals the whole second gate and everything.
Technically, it's the original gate.
Well, yes, you're right.
What Fate Amaroka?
And I remember
stuck in my head now.
I remember also asking the question too, like I wonder how far off they could have been from the main site in Antarctica for for when they activate the weapon in Antarctica to take out Anubis. Like, I wonder how far off from that gate they were.
Ooh, that's a good question.
I was like, I wonder if they were close enough, because I mean, goddamn, what a find to not get. I mean, it would have been much too early in the grand scheme of things, but it's just like, how far off were they from missing this? I think it would have been funny if they actually referenced it later when they did go to that site.
Well, I mean, they never knew that the ancients
inhabited. No, they didn't. But it's just funny, just like wondering like how far off they were from that outpost.
That's a good question.
But like I said, they never referenced it again. So other than like the fact that they had to deal with that gate being stolen by the NID and all that crap.
Yep. And also what? I'm trying to remember. There was also that incident where the Russians got a hold.
Yeah, the Russians had the gate.
Yeah. And so they had to pull out the Antarctic gate for a short time until until the NID ended up destroying the Antarctic gate, and so the Russians had to loan the original gate back to the United States.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about some of that. That's gonna be fun to rewatch.
Yes, it will.
Because I forgot about those little details for that particular episodes. Huh. Okay.
It's just kind of constantly like flips around my head. Is just like, wait, so the Russians somehow got the original gate. So then we started using the Antarctic gate, and then the Antarctic gate was destroyed. So we then had to turn to the Russians and then make a deal with them so that we could loan that gate from them.
Yeah, Fear Fema says the Russian gate led to that weird episode with Troy and the water aliens.
Yes.
Did they destroy the Antarctic gate was that the black hole episode? Or was that a different one that they destroyed it?
No.
I'm trying to remember. God, it's been so long.
Let me see if maybe I can find out what episode it is.
Yeah, because I completely forgot. Let's see, the Beta Gate. That's funny that I don't remember being part of the. Oh wait, the Stargate Atlantis. Let's see. All the in an alternate reality. Oh, I think they beamed it aboard the
Thor's ship.
Yeah. And I think it was when they were dealing with the replicators.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was curious about that.
Your mom's a replicator.
Season.
Damn.
Season 2?
No. The Alpha Gate was the one that was beamed aboard Thor's ship.
Oh, is the out? Oh.
So the Beta Gate, let's see here. The Beta Gate was unpacked and set up in the Stargate command as to allow SG-1 to return home and the Stargate operations to resume. SGC continued using the Stargate until Anubis destroyed it with the Stargate Destroyer.
That pesky Anubis.
Yes, he is.
Stargate Destroyer. Oh, I remember that now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they had to load the Beta Gate onto a F-302 and fly it up into space so that it would detonate before it destroyed the Earth.
Right. Because of the destroyer thing.
Because the destroyer was overcharging the gate.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't spoil anything. I stopped watching Stargate so I get caught up on Star Trek.
God damn it.
What season was the Replicators introduced?
Yeah, that's the fear for me. It's like, what season Replicator? Later ones could be hot.
Was it season 3? Wasn't season 2?
Oh, God.
Let's see here. Replicator.
Constant annoyance, too.
But they're fun villain. They're fun enemy.
Yeah. Newly created SG-1 Menace. No. Was that it? No, that's the 5th season. No, they were created earlier than that.
Season 2. Oh God, I remember that one false step. I find that episode annoying.
One false step. Which one's that one again?
That's the one with the weird creatures and the fungal symbiote things.
I don't quite recall that one.
It's like these very odd aliens. Oh, it is season 3.
Okay.
Nemesis Part 1 and 2.
Favorite thing says, when the shotgun and safety glasses come out, you know you're getting a replicator episode.
the very end of season 3.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's the episode with
they're an obnoxious lot. Like you say, good villains. Definitely throw that monkey wrench into plans.
I'm gonna send a picture of the episode to you on Discord so you can.
Oh, okay. Oh God! Yeah, that episode.
That's an episode we can definitely skip.
Yeah, that one has no purpose that I recall ever serving in the grand scheme of things. Just so, hang on, So you all know what we're talking about. Hey man, you've probably already seen this episode, right?
If it's the replicators?
No, this episode with the weird kind of naked people.
Yeah. What? That's
With the weird like sound vibrations messing with everybody and setting everyone off.
Yeah, it's weird.
All right. Well, I think with that we will call it a night. Let's go around really quick. Static, you got anything you want to pimp out, sir?
Well, we've got the Monday night bloodbath where me and
you
the
talk
guys
exclusively politics, where you got the exclusive rights to
yes, where I am the only show on YouTube to talk about political things.
This is true. If you were questioning it, this
only I talk about politics on YouTube.
Really? Wow.
So we're gonna deep dive.
Per Hitman's demand.
We're gonna glance into a Nixon rabbit hole. Because there's some interesting questions to be had there. Not that I have any answers, but there's questions to be asked.
And those are fun.
And gosh, there's all so much Trump shit. The Trump stuff just doesn't stop. And it's not going to stop until he's dead.
Yeah.
Or could just no longer be president. Also, and by that I mean too old to be president, which some would say is even now.
30. It's like what 40 years time for each felony is like 40 years or 30 years, something like that, times 34. So basically, by the time we reach warp speed,
you kind of died. You're a little quiet. What was that?
Oh, I was saying each felony is supposed to be like 40 years. So times that by 34, and that's when we'll actually be able to hit warp speed.
40 years.
That's what they say. Each year, that's what I was watching a show this morning. They're like each count, felony counts like 40,
these are things that were misdemeanors like a year ago.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't. That's what I heard, so it could be wrong. But
there's a lot going on. I don't know if you guys saw the stuff about like the person saying my cousin told me they were going to be he was going to be guilty the day before.
From the professional shit poster.
Yeah. I've been cosplaying making a video about that because I've been cosplaying making a video about that because it's kind of funny.
I just thought that like
that guy might have just literally fucked himself. Like he could be in for a long next few weeks as they dig into his life.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's plenty to be talking about Monday, and then Thursday night is the weekend pregame where we will be talking about episode 3 of the Acolyte.
Let's go.
I'm hoping we get a great climaculated conception. And
it's a perfect means for them to completely redefine the Chosen One prophecy.
Yeah, they're gonna from my understanding, they're gonna do what Plagueis only hoped he could have.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like, so according to the Diz Canon novel, it's called Master and Apprentice.
I haven't kept up on any of their books. I still have plenty of backlog to try and get through.
Yes, Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray. That was.
I'm just hoping we get our first Star Wars clam slam scene.
I mean, they had one of those specialty. What the fuck do they call them? The intimacy coordinators for this, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, we could be getting our first clam slam scene.
And then I think we need to reveal the triplet this episode as well because it's the 3rd episode. So we need to show that the Master is really the long lost triplet that was separated at birth, because that would be literally one-upping Luke and Leia.
Oh God, it would.
And I think that would just be absolutely brilliant and completely no one would see that coming.
Well, my expectations have been thoroughly subverted if they do that.
Well, I mean, so who do you think our Sith Lord is?
I don't give a shit. I'm only watching this show because I'm hoping for it to be cringy.
No, it is.
You know what? I've given up. Last time I tried actually throwing out some predictions during the whole Ahsoka thing with the Merrick guy or whatever, and he turned out to be nothing but fart gas. I'm like, I give up. I'm not going to make No, I'm done.
A lot of people are predicting it's the apothecary guy.
Yeah, I've heard that one. I've heard that one.
Some are saying it's going to be one of the mothers.
Yep. That one too. I've heard that one. I jokingly said it's gonna be their new version of Darth Bane. But otherwise, I don't know. I don't. It's gonna be whatever lame duck thing they throw at us.
So in the original EU, the prophecy for the Chosen One was very simple. It was a Jedi will come to destroy the Sith and bring balance to the Force.
Right.
But in Disc canon, in the Claudia Gray novel, they decided to make it a little more flowery or a little more pizzazz, saying only through the sacrifice of many Jedi will the Order cleanse the sins done to the nameless. The danger of the past is not past, but sleeps in an egg. When the egg cracks, it will threaten the galaxy entire. When the Force itself sickens, past and future will split and combine. A chosen one will come, born of no father, and through him will ultimate balance of the Force be restored.
This is why I know why I said that. It's been written by a woman, because it's nothing but word salad.
We're doing Saturday Chatterday on Dermy's channel here in a little bit. Well, I might stream my pick. I don't know.
Okay, cool. I never think to pop in there. I always forget.
You did last week.
I did last week, yes, but normally I just forget. It's just like one of those things where it's like I log off and I'm like, okay, bedtime. How about you, Spartacus? How about you? Got anything coming up? Anything going on? Lay it down for us.
Really, I don't know what I'm going to be doing here soon. I mean, my plan is to finish up the rest of my playthrough of Lego Batman on my channel.
Nice.
So, from there, I don't know. I may jump back over to Infamous and finish that up, or I may continue playing Lego Batman, the other ones.
Which Infamous are you playing? 1 or 2?
The first one.
Nice. I almost platinumed that one, but there was still one of the combos I was just not able to get.
Which one's
that game was fun. Oh, it was one of the. It was like the way you complete it is by doing some of the combos off of, at least the way the person I saw it on like a YouTube video. It's like if you do it off of the prison building during that mission. I forget which combo it was though. It's just one of them I was just off from that I needed to complete, and I would have been done, but I never got around to it. I might have to revisit that game one day, because that was a fun game.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah,
they don't make them like that anymore.
No, they do not. Completely. I mean, as far as it is, solely its own property, superhero game. So you don't see people taking that chance or opportunity.
I mean, it's a superhero game that wasn't reliant on on either Marvel or Sony. It was, or
that's why
Marvel
I said a solely
DC.
original. Yeah, that's why I said a solely original, its own. Yeah, just completely its own thing.
And I mean, the way they left it off was a very. It just was like, I wish they could have. I wish more would have been done with it.
Yeah, it was. They were building things, but it just got cut off.
Well, I mean, it left off in such a way. It's just like, oh, come on! you freed all the conduits from the prison, and now everyone is free, and all the conduits are free from all that stuff. And now it's just boom, it's done.
Right. Was that at the end of the second game?
Infamous Second Sons, the third.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's been a really long time since I touched that one too. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that one left off on such a major cliffhanger.
Oh, and then they tried to do the spin-off game with the neon-powered chick.
First Light.
Yes, that was it.
A prequel, yeah.
Oh, it was a prequel. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just knew about it. I never got around to really playing it.
Because it was supposed to be about how what happened to her before she was arrested, and as well as what led up to the breakout of the 3 conduits that would cross paths with Delzin.
Oh, okay. Cool. I guess I'll have to revisit it. Yeah, they were. And how about you, Hitman? You got anything you want to drop?
Nope.
Cool. Timon also said Infamous was so fun. It definitely a fun set of games. Like I said, I'll have to replay those 2 someday. On the list.
Yeah,
but thank you. Oh, go ahead.
The way that I'm playing them is through PlayStation.
Oh, the PlayStation Now thing?
No, it's PlayStation Plus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I still have the discs for them, so I got my PS3 that I could hook up at some point.
My PlayStation 3 is in my room somewhere.
Somewhere. Oh God. Okay, so Timon, thank you for hanging out, sir, for being here for a good portion of the time. Fear of FEMA as well. We had Real Wade Nation Gaming dropping by. Brandon Tran showing up. Who else? Scrolling up. Fook Norris was here as well. Cool beans. Thank you all so much. It was one. Oh, and we had a new face in the chat was Joseph Ricci. Thank you. And the operator. And I believe that's everybody. And of course, to you 2 gentlemen as well, Spartacus and Static. Appreciate it, you guys, for showing up, watching Stargate with us, and enjoying the show.
Dan Blackroyd.
And Dan Blackroyd drops in at the last minute. Hello, sir. Infamous and Prototype were both great. I never really got into Prototype, but Infamous I played the shit out of.
I played Prototype a little bit. It was okay, but I felt like Infamous had a little bit more to it.
It did. I feel like that too. But yeah. And then for myself, on Wednesday night, I will be on stream joining Cult of Carl on his channel. We'll be discussing Star Wars and other potentially nerdy topics and the like. So check us out for that. And I'll also be probably popping in for Grizzy's Shill Acolyte watch, along with Darth Melvin, which I'm sure will be this time a potential shit fest, considering what episode 3 is potentially holding for us. So that should be fun. And of course, I will be hanging out with Static for his weekend pregame on Thursday. And then we'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. With that, everybody, good night. Thank you very much for showing up. Bye-bye.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Yeah, I should have known from the very beginning. From what you said. Yeah, when the mega powers were formed. Yeah, what you were out for from the very beginning. Yeah, you were after what was mine. I remember what you said.
You can destroy the Emperor. Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
Yeah, that one was rough. Those words right there. Yeah, I got stuck, yeah, but I swallowed it anyway. Didn't like the taste, but I swallowed it anyway, yeah. But I remember the time when there was a conquistador out of the ring. The one that's so jealous that he can't stand it, yeah. Yeah, you came in there with your poses, yeah, but you made a big idiot out of yourself, yeah. And speaking of idiot things, what about that stupid idea? Did you forget that one? Think back. That right there sealed your fate. Yeah, it put the madness over the edge. But I'll tell you what felt even better, was in the dressing room, in the first aid room. Me being unselfish, said go ahead, do the thing, You won't steal my thunder, no! When you take a look at the madness's eyes, all you're gonna see is complete and utter rage!